Howdy, oh wait, no, I'm not Alice. Hello, everybody. I am here. Valdez with me is Wolf, and we are here at the LCK Challenger League, getting ready for a great day of video games. And you know what, Wolf? Today's going to be four games. I heard. I talked to my sources, and I really dig deep on this one. I spent a lot of time yesterday trying to find some information, and it's only a 4-game day.
That's word on the street. As we do have a very one-sided matchup in our first series with T1 Esports Academy struggling a little bit this season, and then on our second series could definitely go to 3, but Valdez's word on the street is it's not. So
no, it can't.
That is the report that we have. But yeah, he's Valdez. I'm Wolf. We're here for more challengers. I'm feeling pretty good about moving into a new patch that's not broken, supposedly, this time.
Yeah.
Mostly working.
Surely this time.
And hopefully no issues will occur. We had a lot of gameplay yesterday for anything weird to happen. It didn't happen as far as I know. So we're coasting into 13-13 for just a week here before we go into 13.14 next week. And so maybe LeBlanc Shiv, or Shiv LeBlanc, is dead. LeBlanc with Shiv, Shiv LeBlanc,
yeah.
LeBlanc who is shiving. Please, no more. I don't want it anymore. So that's what I'm looking forward to for this week of LCK on both sides, challengers and regular season.
You know, we've had many metas where stuff dominates, and it's really good, and then eventually teams figure it out. Oftentimes before changes happen, especially when you get a really long patch like 13-12 was, people just figured out LeBlanc by the end. It wasn't super dominant. Teams just had less success with it. They were trying to make it work. I also feel like as the meta shifted, the teams that were still picking LeBlanc kind of forgot where its strengths lied, right? And they were like, I'm just going to team fight with this and do poke damage and like do only that. And they weren't drafting correct comp. It was weird. It was getting weird. And now teams are like, it's just don't play it. It's gone. It's over. We've done it. No more LeBlanc. I mean, LeBlanc will always be in the meta because of her kit.
Yeah,
as we have seen.
But not for the items in her inventory, hopefully, this time. As take a look at our standings. T1, you know, they turned the season around a little bit, you could say. Did go up to 4 wins, but playoffs seems unlikely for them. They are a full 3 wins behind Gen.G at this moment in time. Hanwha Life still kind of up there challenging with D+, who have taken a few of their own losses now.
Who's the best team in Challengers, Wolf? Is it DK or is it Hanwha?
I think it's Hanwha, to be honest.
I think it's Hanwha Life Esports.
Yeah, I think it's Hanwha right now in terms of current form.
They're
my
more
favorite.
Consistent nowadays, yeah.
Yeah, they're my favorite to win the whole thing, I think, at this point. I think some of the talent for especially the solo laners on the Hanwha has been unlocked. And it's wild considering their jungler, Grizzly, who was kind of replacing Guon and coming in as the main jungler, got yoinked away, and then yoink, they still ended up doing better. So that matchup, the Hanwha T1 matchup, definitely feels like it is going to be a one-sided one. But our second matchup, KT could surprise us.
They could. But as I already told you, we looked up the script. I talked to my sources, and it's only going to be 4 games today, Wolf. So 2-0, 2-0. We don't know exactly
what if
which
KT
teams.
really? Yeah. What if KT really surprises us?
It could be. Yeah. You know, I only know the scores. I don't know which teams are going to win. You would expect, like on paper, you would kind of guess. Okay, it should be Hanwha Life Esports and Nomshin, but hey, you never know. One thing that we do know for sure, though, that it is 4 games here for the 2-game Tuesday, and that's just the way it's going to be. But we'll have to wait and see which team does show up here as, yeah, T1's a little bit of struggle street nowadays, both in LCK and in Challenger League, whereas Hanwha Life Esports are the exact opposite in both LCK and Challenger League.
Yeah, no, they've been rising to the occasion. T1, it's been a bit of a struggle. I do still have an average of over a Herald per game. When that number gets as low as it does, though, that's when you start to worry. If you have a sub 1 Herald per game average, that's when you're really struggling. That's when you're losing both objectives almost every game. So first blood percentage is actually quite high. Like, if you look at that, you're like, oh, okay, this team's finding success. Oftentimes, actually, in the bottom lane, in bottom 2v2s, but outside of the laning phase, the macro just hasn't been the same since Bay left. Words I thought I'd never say, and obviously Poby getting pulled up doesn't really help them either. They finally were starting to find their footing with him, and now he's in LCK.
Yeah. As, you know, some chatters a little bit sad about T1's current form. Just remember that all things pass, and 2018 was much worse than this. So, if you're a T1 fan, there have been rough times in the past. They always come out, better for it, I guess you could say, in the future. And maybe this isn't quite their season, but next season, probably looking up. And don't give up for now. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. As Loki is starting in the mid lane here for Life Esports.
Yeah, this has been kind of discussed and hinted at a few times. Like, there were a few days where I had heard rumors that maybe Loki was going to start. Didn't end up happening, but we'll see what he ends up doing here, as Roamer is, I think, his greater counterpart at the moment, and I think, in my opinion, the strongest player on this roster. As Lura's had some good performances in the past, right? Duro has a pretty wide champion pool, but yeah, I think Loki is coming in because of the caliber of opponent. They want to kind of give him an opportunity to test his might, so to speak, test his mettle.
Yeah. You ever watch any of the? Isn't Loki from like Thor? Something like that.
I mean, he is like a Marvel character, but
is he from that universe?
I think he's just a Greek mythology. Like, he's a troublemaker. Like, he's not like a poltergeist, but he's essentially like a poltergeist. Like, he's the guy who just like messes with stuff. He's always creating chaos and like messing with people's plans. Norse mythology.
Greek.
Duck rank? I don't know, guys. I'm not a mythology person.
Mythologist. Yeah, I'm not either.
There's two types of mythology, right? There's the old mythology, which is, what all the old history of Greek, Norse, etc. is. And then there's the mythology that people have nowadays where they just worship Marvel characters and watch every Marvel movie that gets released. That's like the new gods that are out. And Loki's in both,
What is my personality? It's a Marvel movie watcher. Oh, okay. So like 90% of the population. All right. So we do have some points of the match here. They're not called that, but it's pretty cool that we get them nowadays. Definitely going to be looking at the bottom lane, the 80 carries going head-to-head here. Smash has had some good performances over the course of his Challenger's career, but Lure is in a better spot right now.
Yeah, glad Lure got that 0.2 extra DPM in before this graphic, because it would have been pretty cursed otherwise, but still pretty cursed, to be honest. Smash, I think this graphic, it shows that Lure is the stronger player, right? But obviously Smash is pretty close to him, which is incredible considering the team he's on and the team's record. So we've talked about this pretty much every time you and I have commentated T1's Esports Academy roster. It's just a team that is reliant on Smash carrying in the late game. Kind of like spring and early summer Life Esports and Viper, right? It's just like, okay, does it go late? Maybe Smash can carry. Does he have items? Like, we'll see.
How did the early and mid game go? I don't know, but does he have items? Then maybe we can win. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see how Loki is going to do, just because, I mean, he's got a cool name, but also if you are getting a chance to play instead of Roamer, like you said, it could be, they're trying to give him a chance, but maybe he's also really, really good. So let's see what he's got.
Yeah.
Challengers, always a fun time. You never know what you're going to get.
You really don't. That's the one thing you know, is that you do not know.
Although we do know today is the 4 games.
Yes.
That's the one thing we know today.
I mean, that's what has been foretold.
Yeah.
Jace, moving on priority a little bit here. I do like to see. It's been very strong in the LCK, especially with Maokai. They're going to ban both of these red side picks. Basically never seeing Jace on blue side, because, the Maokai goes to red with all the prio picks you want, especially Kai'Sa, LeBlanc, etc. And hopefully LeBlanc will not be banned by Hanwha, and T1 will not pick it for nice, and we'll just move on with our lives. Let's find out. Let's find out how lucky I'm going to be here today.
T1 LCK very much likes picking up the LeBlanc, at least on 13-12 for Poby. So, Wolf, I think we're just going to see it. And then Loki's going to play Tristana, and Life Esports are going to win the first game in under 16 minutes.
Kai'Sa instead. Okay, they're going Tristana. I think this is the right call. Now, yeah.
Wolf's like trying to talk about
I'm
the
like,
draft.
P?
I'm just making weird noises.
Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z? Like,
yeah. Hoonie's always like,
you start your alphabet with
and then
O?
I'm like, B.
All right, there's the Kai'Sa. As Rooster did a little, swatted a fly away before he was going to hover it, and that's going to get locked in. Question is, what do we get with this? Could be just a mid pick. Viego also fine with all the mid picks right now in this meta. Vi, you know, just feels straight up good. Still on this patch, despite some of the changes, but I don't, you know, don't feel like she's as much of a must pick. And I actually don't mind this Rel pick at this point in time, because the pick of Alistar early, you don't gain as much on the blue side.
What if they played Tristana Alistar bot lane, though? That would be like Omega counter in the bot lane.
That would be pretty smart, but...
Tristana Alistar is a duo since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
But, you know, Rakan is available. Xayah is good. Pick it.
They're going to do it. This means they won't get the Alistar counter. That's why I like this Rel in this spot, because on blue side, there's other prio picks you want to get instead. And if you pick Alistar, you just don't feel like you have a strong value pick.
Alistar is in that weird spot where it's like, I guess we'll pick him.
Yeah, whereas Rel is actually going to be quite valuable for a comp like what Han was putting together. The Xayah Rakan, I think, was a great answer, though. Just don't sacrifice your draft power for an Alistar counter this early. But now, like, if they didn't pick the Rakan, like the Alistar and the Rakan would probably be banned. Han will Life now have some other choices here. Probably a focal point on the top side, as the Yone pick here is without a Sejuani, and you know, it's probably just going to be Yone straight up into the Tristana in mid, but we have seen other things occur. We have seen Yone top. Let's see what happens
It's
first.
not Zeus on the Rift today, but I mean, Rooster. Rooster he's kind of a weird. I don't know. I feel like I don't understand Rooster as a player. I used to think, okay, he's a great tank player, and then he's like, I'm just going to play Jackson Renekton amazingly.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I was like, huh.
Yeah, I always thought he was very similar to Kingen and was very good at setting up front to back, but this season has been a different identity for him. And the meta has obviously meant that he's playing these more aggressive champions, and Han was 11-3, so like his stats will reflect improvement there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like him as a player, and see what he has for us tonight as a Nautilus ban, potentially with the Rel flex to jungle or Nautilus jungle coming through.
Yeah.
Does feel like they might be picking up a LeBlanc, maybe. Like, I don't know why else you ban this.
Imagine if they did pick Nautilus. The Tristana is just kind of dead. Like, you just press a couple buttons on him and she will eventually die. The Xayah, not so much, though. So anyway, you're taking that away, and now the prio pick on the Renekton. Yeah,
they banned the Gragas, so that trades the Jax ban, so now there's no Jax for the Renekton. So let's see what they want to do.
Well, if Town can swallow Yone when he's leashed, does he fly back to position anyway?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he flies back after the Devour finishes.
Out. Yeah, after he gets out. I don't think he can fly back while he's devoured. Yeah, because he can't press the button. It might extend his like soul being unbound.
Wolf, I'm gonna start something. I love the Nocturne here. I love the Nocturne here. I'm not even looking at the enemy comp, but I love the Nocturne here. Big fan. It's just great. They're not gonna go for it, but I loved the Nocturne in this position.
I like it. It's a good meme. I like it because it does feel like we've done a little bit of that, haven't we, here at the LCK?
But I personally, I think I'm very Nocturne biased because every time I see it and cast it, it's just amazing. So I'm like, I really love the Nocturne.
Is this just going to be Rel jungle? They've just decided that's what's happening, even though it doesn't necessarily make sense because they don't want to play into Xayah Rakan.
The Crank?
The Crank for Duro? He's a really good Blitzcrank player.
Ooh.
This is going to be my first Rel jungle game. It hasn't happened in LCK yet, and it may have happened in Challengers and I didn't see it, but I don't think it's happened yet. Is this the first time, chat? Anyone see any of that? I don't think it's happened.
Any Rel jungle seers? Any Rel happened yesterday? Okay, well there we go.
Oh, okay, yesterday.
I was watching, but I wasn't watching. You know what I mean? I was like in and out of the house. I was playing Diablo 4. I went to sleep at some point, and then I woke up and Challengers was still on. I didn't see any Rel jungle in some of those
Vincenzo,
spaces. Okay. Neither were Atlas and Chronic. Trust me,
yeah. I didn't watch all the games yesterday. I watched kind of part of the end with the Fiora incident, but that's when I got home. And T1 here, I mean, they have a draft that is pretty straightforward, you know? You've got double 80 carry, you have Viego for resets, you have Gwen who can rip through this aggressive front line. if I took the nameplates off, I feel like I would like T1's draft more. But Hanwha Esports do have a lot of combo potential, a lot of pick potential as well. And I think that they, because they are the stronger team, will be able to find those angles and find that setup. But their draft is harder. And if last week of LCK and Challengers tells me anything, the harder draft is not winning a lot of the time these days.
You want the draft that's like, okay, we press our buttons and we get the win. So Hanwha Esports, the best champion in Challengers is Blitzcrank. You press your button, the Q is like, okay, I got a guy, we attack him. If I miss, we all run away. It's very obvious. Like, Duro is great at it. You press your Q, you're gonna hit someone, and just attack them.
And normally I would say like Rel Yone is the easy comp because you just press R together and you have a Blitzcrank, but in Challengers against the amount of mobility, T1, I'm not so sure about this. I thought we weren't doing that anymore, but then Valdez gave me the thumbs up.
No, but it happened after the fan chants.
All right.
The fan chants came out really quickly, so we had time.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm just trying to catch up.
Yeah.
You know?
They were doing doo-doo-doos yesterday, and I was like, But I didn't hear a lot of fan chants, and I could hear the doo-doo-doos, so I'm like, I think it's just still a thing. We said we doed our last do last week, but we also said that if like fan chants kind of like weren't happening, then we could kind of fit it in.
I mean, I'm down to do it. You know, I'm following the trends. You know, I'm not the leader of this. Like, I wasn't the one who started it, you know? I was just the one who followed what the patterns that were happening. All right.
No Flash Quinn?
No Flash Gwen, yeah.
This reminds me of the Ouija board.
Luigi board?
Luigi board? Yeah. I mean, Gwen does have a Q. So.
Look, I mean, if my G key was broken, I'd use Q.
Yeah. All right, we go press some buttons in the bottom lane. Blitzcrank's still desperately trying to be relevant here as he auto attacks. And you know what? Feels pretty good for Smash and Bout early on here.
It's a trade of health pools for the 80 carries. And I like it because, like you said, Blitzcrank, he presses Q, but otherwise he doesn't do a whole lot. And Rakan will always be able to threaten, will always have a relevant kit, can also heal. So he is going to add some additional sustain as he had this. I'm going to be honest, Valdez, you know, we memed about like loving the Nocturne and stuff like that, but
I love the Nocturne.
Nobody's really saying that they love the Yone every time, but I feel like there's a lot of enthusiasm around it right now in the LCK, and I'm kind of like, yeah, it makes your comp easy, but...
So what's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on
This
here?
is like some weird tech, okay? And he went over a ward, and Dahl, for some reason, still has no idea that this is happening.
Sisterhood of the Crashing Pants.
Yeah, and you know what? He doesn't have Flash, so Dahl is just dead, eventually. And one just decides that he'll use his Flash so that they don't waste too much time here. Rooster going to collect First Blood. About as straightforward as you can get it. Level 3 Rel gank. She's very good at ganking, and that he did.
Yeah. I like how it was handled by Dahl. Like, he just tried to push forward and, you know, drops his Ignite. He's like, okay, if you mess around with this too long, like, I'm actually going to threaten Rooster, and I'm just going to keep pushing this wave. Like, he knew he was dead. He wasn't going to, like, run it out and try to get away and then lose even more time. Like, he's just like, nah, I'm just going to teleport straight back to lane after dying.
What?
So
No replay. I want to watch the...
Nah, we'll just watch this again. It's very long, and it's going to happen.
There is a fight in live. It's happening. There's a knockup. Yeah, no, there's a fight in live. Those guys are dying.
Hold on, let's watch Rel Flash again.
Oh, no. Okay, so what happened here? Bout flashed, Forest flashed. Who else flashed?
I think that's it. No, obviously, Gwen flashed earlier. That's it.
Alrighty then. So they got caught in the jungle.
Yeah.
Diego Forest trying to invade after Guan's quick gank to the top side.
Yeah, no, it's just a nice attempt there from Forest to make something happen, but won't get either summoner, and don't feel great about this, unfortunately, for the side of T1. 500 gold behind now, and Gwen falling behind in the Renekton matchup, kind of a problem. You know, it's not. It will become less of a problem in like 15 minutes, but at the moment, it's kind of a big problem. Is it looks like Forrest just,
relay.
he comes over here and tries 1v1 to beat the Blitzcrank, and then one shows up because he came over here so late. Like he was just really trying to hard force instead of just taking Scuttle. And I like that we got the replay because we usually don't get replays when there's no kills. Actually, I think sometimes when we're in replay purgatory, it's good to tell the story of what did occur when summoners are used, especially.
Yeah. About just, you know, helping out the team, had to pay for it with his Flash, but he is Hex Flash Rakan. All the supports realizing that, hey, Hex Flash is pretty good. And now everybody takes it for a good reason. And if you ask Atlas, it's because it's better than Flash. That's not really the reason. It's because you just get more flashes.
Yeah, it also gives you additional engage opportunities, especially if you're ahead. It's super fantastic. Super fantastic. I'm just so awesome today.
Super awesome, great. Wow, that hook was actually super fantastic as Smash is going to have to flash away from this one, holds on to his ghost. Meanwhile, there's something happening in the river. For some reason, Forrest decided he would donate a kill over to Home Life Esports, so that did happen.
Yeah, Forrest is foresting a little bit this game.
But in the river, it's really weird?
Yeah. Left his sword behind in there, and 400 gold, or 300 gold rather. Just left it over there, and dropped it off, and it's not going to be able to go pick it up. It's been claimed, actually. And he has no proof to it. He doesn't actually have any proof that it belonged to him, so yeah, he's over here, and then suddenly you run into some enemy champions. It's a Rel over there. Maybe I could tackle the Rel. Well, let's see how that one goes. Bold move caught in, like, you know.
Yeah. So the idea is, okay, the Tristana is going to have first roam. Instead, he gets ulted by yeah.
But he also kind of like didn't really hit anything, and it was it's not a happy replay there. So yeah, like I said, he dropped his sword and some money in the river, and sometimes you just gotta be like, oh, that's just gonna take a loss on that one.
Okay, okay. Hello, casters. How has your day been going so far? Oh, it's been great. You know, I woke up at 6:30, and then I played some Diablo, and then I went back to sleep. And then I woke up at around 2, and then I took a shower, I came over, and here I am.
Yeah, for me, watching Diablo VODs always helps me get back to bed.
Yeah.
So I totally feel you on that one.
He's doing it again, Wolf.
Like, Forrest is just, he's like, I will kill this Rel 1v1. And he's like, it's not fair, they keep bringing other people over.
Yeah, it really isn't. This time, you know, Loki wasn't there, so he was allowed to do that. This time it made sense.
This time it actually didn't end up getting punished. But, yeah, sounds like a solid day. Sounds not too bad. I woke up around like 10 for a little run. Just a short
run?
Yeah, just a little jog. You know, little 25.
You're talking about running it
run.
down in League, aren't you?
No, like outside.
Outside,
little
like
cardio, yeah.
In the sun?
In the sun, that's right next to the little river next to my house. Little run, came home, ate some budae-jjigae. Because I was gonna eat budae-jjigae, man. I had to make it okay.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
I didn't touch any grass.
In the sun.
I'll let you guys know there was no grass involved, but
okay.
I was touching a lot of pavement and like turf paths that are good for your feet to run on, so you don't hurt your ankles.
Well, the kids are saying like you do you, right? So we gotta respect each other's you know, thoughts, I guess, and whatever they want to do. So you do you, Wolf.
Okay, I did, and Forrest's gonna do dragon, so you know we're keeping that herp G around 1 here as T1, you know.
Yeah.
It's not getting this first one.
T1's drap G is pretty high though.
Yeah.
It was like 2.4.
It's pretty high. I mean, above 2 is good. You know, that's where you want it to be.
Yeah. That's where you get like the elder flip territory. If you're forcing enough dragons to happen in your games, then, you know, you make it to elder flip. I feel like Challengers isn't really about elder flip anymore.
Not really.
It kind of happens sometimes, but not.
The higher numbers for dragons are good until you get to, like, if you're, like, over 4, it's like, well, wait, what does that mean? Like,
yeah.
Bro and LCK, like, it could be We're probably getting close.
I would say there are at least
how are you
3
supposed to be over
G.
4? Like that's not supposed to happen. That's not a good thing.
Why is T1 struggling so much without Faker? And also, do you think when Faker leave T1, they will struggle so much like they're doing now?
When Faker leave T1, it will be a different team, and we'll judge it based on the roster at that time. But I don't think we can. If Faker is not there, but it's a completely different roster, like how could we know? Because Faker's not leaving this roster. He's just at the moment trying to rest his injury and recovery. So he hasn't left. He's just simply recovering and will not be leaving this roster. Bye-bye.
Ult, Loki, he's like, give me this spot. Roamer's good, but I'm better.
That was pretty clean.
Yeah. Well, oh, God.
Everything about it except
please,
the cannon.
Do you have, like, the Men in Black thing? Can you erase my memory from the last 5 seconds, please?
Look, just he
now
got...
it's 10 seconds.
Got Flash. Okay. He was able to then turn the 3rd Q into a knockup as well afterwards. So he got maximum damage there. Then he missed the cannon. It's okay.
No, it's not.
It's okay.
It's not okay.
I think it's alright.
This is how Rel Jungle works, by the way. She casts her E, and then she does it again. And then she does it again.
I mean, the cool thing about Rel Jungle is that she can get over walls really easily. She has insane engage. She's very easy to play. She's great for team fights. It's kind of like unfair that Rel can have such a great impactful kit and a really impactful team fighting ultimate. Junglers usually kind of get one of the two. But if you have both, like Maokai does, for example, you know, you're gonna be potentially meta as long as the stats line up. And the stats for Rel, you know, got there in the end. They were a little bit high for a little bit there, right? We had those like, pretty high for a minute, but now she's in a very strong place, and I'm glad that LCK teams are finally trying to experiment with something that the rest of the world is doing for like 3 months. not that long, maybe like 2 months.
Alawi instead of Gwen equals win. Where is Chovy? You know, he's probably at the team house practicing, I would guess.
Valdez still answers this question in the chat every time.
Yeah. Where is Shomi? Well, he's probably at the T1, or not the T1. He's probably at the team house practicing, I would guess. Or maybe he's still sleeping, you know, it's...
I think they're asking because you're answering.
Maybe.
So, like,
any other questions? Where is Fanker?
There we go. That's the one I was waiting for.
Fanker is he's at the banker.
There was once a Overwatch tank player called Panker. That was an actual ID.
Panker?
Yeah, it's very close.
Where is Valdez? Certainly not here. Are there 2 LCK English channels?
Yep.
Yep.
There's one on YouTube, there's one on Twitch.
Yeah. This one in particular is for Challenger League. So if you're here to watch the LCK, please stay. When is Faker? Where is Faker? Who is Faker? Which is Faker? Why is Faker?
How is Faker?
Someone asked earlier how is Valdez and how our day has been going. Sag.
It was a pretty good day. You know, got to work without a hitch. Pretty easy, chill.
Why is Valdez? You probably have to ask my parents about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know personally. I haven't asked them, but yeah.
I mean, I think you could probably figure it out at this point.
Maybe.
Like what sort
Not
of
100%
what
sure.
sort of value and enrichment do you bring to your family's lives?
That I don't know.
I mean, we know why Valdez, but did you live up to it? You know. Was it a good choice, you know?
It's definitely a hard question. I'm not sure. Where is Valdez? Yeah. I don't know.
So,
Where's Valdez? Maybe in 10 years.
T1 gonna give this Drake, so that's gonna put us to the 1-1. That's not moving to the 2 Drap G stat that T1's looking for. We're slaying Krakens, no Shiv, by the way. For the Tristan, it's fine for Kai'Sa, that's still okay. Not as good for...
Oh, Hextech Soul. Nice. Hextech meaning Hemtech.
I like how right when you said nice was put on camera. That was kind of...
Yeah, they're listening. Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, you see the item diff in the top lane. We talked about how it's like, yeah, not so good for Renekton gets ahead against Gwyn. We're getting almost to the point where it doesn't matter, but does have this item advantage for the second Herald of the game. T1 gave the first. So you need to get one of these two, or that Herald percentage is dropping.
Wolf, what's your favorite farming game of all time?
That's a really good question, actually.
Is it Harvest Moon?
I think it was, but I don't know if I'd say that anymore.
Stardew Valley, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, we got a fight here. T1 say, well, I think we can take this objective. The answer was no. They cannot take this objective. The Zaya's doing a decent amount of damage with the hook.
Whoa,
very
wow.
nice, but guess what? Kaisa, more OP than Zyra Khan. We already knew that, but we got a nice little rendition of it here. As Humble Life Esports are absolutely smashing them into the ground. And that's going to be the end of that. For some reason, Nice is still in the mid lane. Not sure why he wasn't in the fight. Maybe he got zoned out on the bottom side. But yeah, Humble Life Esports pretty happy about the way this game is going.
They just put him in the mortar and grinded T1 down to dust. And
yeah,
now they're going to sprinkle it over whatever meal we're going to eat for dinner tonight. Yeah, this is... They did not have control. Tristana is not here. Bout in this fight is caught, dashes in, zone, like, gets grabbed again, has to go away. Like, Duro just out. I mean, that was support diff on display, man. Because I wasn't super sold on the Blitzcrank pick in this draft, especially for what it means for lane, but you know what? He's hitting hooks.
Yeah.
Bout, he's doing it again.
He's
Full
dead.
passive. That was the last shot of the passive. He got killed by the Invictus logo.
You know, he probably got hooked, I would say.
Yeah, again?
Let me just go ahead and put in...
The Crank?
The Crank?
The Hex Flash Crank?
Look at him, he's like sitting there, he
doesn't even Hex
CSing.
Flash.
God is like CSing the wave. And then he's like, please hook me, please hook me, please. I'm gonna stand right here.
He got Invictus Gaming. 4 kills for Kaisa. Like large.
We got some needles. It was like the first time in this game. Duro is going to die, but they do have a crop problem. As you can see, the one getting pretty low at the same time. Rooster's just going to give himself up to the team. Is now Nice looking for the resets, actually hopping back in just to harass a little bit more, and finally T1 get a nice little
So would you
fight.
say Duro POG stocks went up or down after this moment? Like, I'm not sure. Like, because the rest of Hanwha really kind of just face planted in mid.
Let's say down.
But he also died, so like, because he's the one who's making the plays though at the moment, you know? I think it might just be a lure angle at this point in time. There's a Hex Flash over the wall for the Rel.
Oh, that didn't hit anything. Bout,
man, what?
You know, sometimes you come into the league and you're like, I'm gonna give it my all. And then
and sometimes you come into a game and Kespo's having a conversation while they didn't have an investigation.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have a rough day, right?
This is really big plays here for Knowledge. The ultimate was fantastic. It is doing big damage, and then obviously the longer fight Gwyn is going to crush through this Renekton. So picking up a lot of massive gold, actually getting that shutdown onto the Renekton. Now she's got a Rift Maker. Now she's going to be potentially relevant in the side lane, starting to be at least, but Bout, I need to see a little bit tighter gameplay. Because Bout, by the way, for me, I'm like Smash #1 on this team. And before this season, I was like, okay, Bout probably #2. Then I was like, okay, Dahl and Bout, pretty close, but Bout's really good. Now I'm watching this game and what's happened in a lot of the second round robin. I'm like, he is just struggling, and it's quite weird because he was kind of the pinnacle of consistency, I'd say, for this roster for a while. And this game is not his finest.
Yeah, he's overdoing it a bit, perhaps. Happens to the best of us. And T1 are not really in a good spot right now, but they still have a shot at playoffs, I believe. It would be very difficult, but you'd need Gen.G to lose like all of their games, and for Bro to lose all their games, and for you to win all of your games.
Someone asking Zane, actually in the chat a pretty good question, like, is it like he's expecting more of himself, so he's trying to overcompensate? I feel like they know that this Kaisa is so fed into a pretty easy to execute comp from ahead with like Rel, Magnet, Storm, and Yone ults that if he doesn't actually shut this Kai'Sa down, he doesn't actually set up a really big combo play and get this Tristana further ahead, they're probably going to lose. But you got to know like when there's an opportunity to maybe seize and when it's absolutely not the right idea, even though you definitely need to get kills. Like, you know, there's a line that you walk. Like, do we engage here? Do we find this? Because if we get these kills, we're going to have an opportunity. It's risky, but let's go in. And then there's just a 0% chance of success, and you went for it anyways, which kind of happening a little bit here in this one. I mean, the times he got hooked, that was not that situation where he was overcompensating. That was the early game, but that last play in mid, yeah, a little bit of a...
Yeah.
I think, like, not that he's stressed out by his performance or anything like that, but I think opportunistic at best, let's say.
At the end of the day, T1, they're like, okay, that was weird. But they did win that last team fight, and their AD carries are scaling up the air a bit. Nice is doing a good job of actually side laning.
Yeah.
It's not something we always see from our Tristana players, especially in challengers, and they're just hanging out. They're farming. You know, they're playing to their win conditions. It's a Chemtech Soul, so at the end of the day, even if they give up a bunch of Gen.G, it's okay. And HLE Esports are like, do we do the Baron, I guess? I don't know.
I think they probably can soon. Have to clean up the bottom lane. Obviously, that turret, excuse me, that turret did go down. Quick blades are up for a nice. He has picked those up now, and or sorry, no, that's actually for Smash. Excuse me. He's working on his quick blades. Doesn't have them yet. Is
Blast Cone value? Yeah, I love those Blast Cones.
That's why Hextech Soul is great.
You know, in this case, this is Chemtech Soul, by the way.
Sorry,
in this
Chemtech,
case,
yeah.
I make that mistake all the time. In this case, it actually made action.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
It's
like,
kind of rare.
yeah.
Generally, you know, the
Chemtech
guy
Soul,
takes it to
Mega
escape.
Plants.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. There's that fight you were predicting.
Bound is going to... Oh my god! Meanwhile, the rest of the team did not turn. So Loki went in. He did make a very nice play, but also his team is not following up. So the smite is going to be good. It is very messy, and at the end of the day, HLE Esports probably is still going to enjoy a win in the team fight, as very messy, but they got the objective. They get a couple of kills, and they're feeling still good about their play.
You know, TAS, the tool-assisted speed run.
Yeah.
This was a T1 assisted speed run. It's still a TAS situation as, yeah, this one is rough. Like, you're trying to go into this choke point here. There's a ward that you know about, and, you know, you're teleporting onto this, and then you're just in a choke here. And this call, I mean, there's a lot of things that...
It's just a team communication.
But, you know, I mean, but also going in on top of the ulted team, like, your instinct is, I need to save my team, they're under attack. But going in on top of that as well, and being in that choke point against Yone, being late to the punch, like, it's just a lot of things going wrong. But they're definitely trying to do things despite the struggle.
Mm-hmm. You know, life is a constant struggle, Wolf, you know. Everybody's just trying to improve. Everybody's just trying to reach their better form.
Yeah, when are we going to get Dave and Attenborough for challengers?
Yeah. What?
You know what I mean? Like,
no?
He needs to talk about the struggles.
Oh, okay. Well, not able to buffer that hook, not expecting it, just trying to clear the wave, and Nice just dies.
I just want David Attenborough to be like, the Tristana is trying to farm to make up for the mid-deficit in mid lane. But unfortunately, a Blitzcrank awaits him on the other side.
Yeah.
One hook, and it's all over.
The hunt is complete for today. Thank you, David. Very nicely done.
This is just, it's a stomp. And it's good play from Hanwha, but at the same time, you know, there's a lot of small errors that are stacking up, and that's
Remember what I said? You press your hook, you know what to do. You press the Q button, everybody turns on. Even Guan's like, I'm gonna ult this guy. Did they really need to do that? Probably not, but it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, you kill one guy, you move on with your life, and all things are solved from there.
Yeah. You know, the thing that they're going to solve next is this Chemtech Soul Point, which is not very relevant to them, but Blitzcrank's mana barrier, you know? Getting some extra shield power.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. See the lines.
The tenacity. You know.
All right.
With this Renekton and with steel caps, he's like, oh, it's almost like I got Merc treads with this stacking up. I don't know
Shield
about
bow?
this.
It has shield in the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slightly relevant if he ever goes down to lifeline territory. I don't know if he will this game, to be honest with you, Valdez, but if he ever does, will be valuable there. It's a 9,000 gold lead here. Okay, 8,500 to be precise.
What is that? Do you see that?
What, the ward on the skin?
No. I was looking at it for the
Skin on
chat.
the ward?
Everfrost coming in as Bout says, well, my line for Ire. As down he will go, just trying to throw in some desperate engages. None of them will work, as at least this time the 80 carries do survive on the side of T1, but they're still not able to do anything, as the wallets are pretty thick at this point, and they're playing against Kaisa. Generally not a good time.
Yeah, playing as Blitzcrank has been kind of not a good time for them as well, and I don't think they'll be playing Rakan in Game 2.
Do you think they're going to ban Blitzcrank?
Maybe, but
Maybe like second rotation ban on Blitzcrank?
maybe they'll first pick Kaisa this time, and just
Yeah.
will have a different type of game entirely. So I think they still will pick blue side as Forest. You can't be over there.
At least he's in the forest this time. I'm a little bit more happy about the positioning. In this case, take a look at the diff in the 80 carry position at this point. Almost 5,000 gold.
He has picked up a lot of money. Forrest, he's trying for this, gets caught by the Everfrost, Bout decides to go and gets a double charm. There's a lot of damage there, and now they've all overextended trying to follow up and play the whole work, so Magnus Storm to get some value. A little bit rough, but I mean, like I said, they're sitting back and losing slowly, and they're trying to make plays, and still trying. 20,000 damage.
Why do players not break the upgraded honeydew fruit plant?
What, to like grab like shields and stuff?
Yeah, it's a permanent shield. It doesn't even slow you down,
Yeah, I
other
mean,
than auto.
it actually gives you like speed as well when you pick it up.
Yeah.
But I think it's just, it takes some time regardless. I pick it up when I can.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I see that in my games. I'm like, I'm gonna hit that.
I mean, it's super valuable when you're actually low on health. I mean, it's actually insane. Like, the plants are not the problem with Chemtech Soul.
Okay, nice, able to at least get in there. Here comes Bout. He's doing some stuff. He's gonna get Yone ultimated as Loki's just gonna kill everybody. Okay. I guess that might just be the end of this game. Wolf, as Bout is on the run, just trying desperately to save his team from 4, as Kaisa does not
Another
have
hook,
her ult.
potentially? The prank?
boom.
Aw, no prank.
The Kaisa?
The Void Seeker?
The Void Seeker. All right, this game is over. 11-0 for Lure, as he is going to pick up the player of the game for this one. But I will not be voting for him.
What are you voting for?
I'm going to go for...
Yeah, for me it's like mid or support. I'm gonna go for support as well. I'll
Yeah,
go
I was
on
thinking
with
Loki,
you.
but I'm just going to go support.
Pretty one-sided one, chat. That was... That didn't even look like a Challengers game. That just...
All-Life Esports are just so good. They're just
yeah,
really, really good.
they are
And,
really
you know,
good.
It wasn't the cleanest game ever, but it did feel like T1 kind of at certain points gave up. And
Watch how much T1 stack up in this moment as well. Like, Loki's coming over, and he just stacked up for Magnetstorm, and then Bout, again, he just is like, let me get involved in this.
yeah, honestly, Guan should probably get some of this too. Some of his rail engages, you know, say what you want about T1's positioning, it wasn't good, obviously, but he hit those ults every time. He was doing good on the rail jungle.
Well, that's 25,000 damage, like you said. Probably going to get picked up by Lure because it's just how the voting often goes, but not for me. For me, I'm like,
I will not be voting
support,
for that.
mid, jungle, no top, no bot. No top and bot. Everyone else, I'm happy
Yeah.
with the results.
Did Rooster play this game? Remember that time on Baron where Loki went in and he hit that huge ult, and then Rooster's like, I'm getting in there, and the rest of the team is just hitting the Baron? Yeah.
There was
That's
also,
why they're a challengers team.
Yeah.
They're still very good, but, you know.
There was the gank for the rail top, where they killed the Gwen. That was when he was at his most relevant in this game.
Level 3.
Yeah.
Took
He
a jungle, at least.
did not do a lot, but that's okay. He was a frontline. He did some AoE on top of the circles. It's okay.
It is all right.
So Rel Jungle, my first experience, pretty good one.
Pretty good,
Feels
yeah.
pretty nice. Feels pretty good.
I like that he used it well. I'm worried that like some of our LCK junglers would be like, you know what? I'm just gonna farm up. I do extra damage to minions. Let's farm. But he was like, no, I'm just gonna clear the top side of my jungle, hit level 3, and then immediately gank the top lane, which is really juicy because it's Gwen without flash next to the turret against Renekton. Free? Yes. Free.
Viego also in this game, like a lot of chat saying Viego wasn't a good pick here. I think Viego's actually fine in this comp, but it needs to not be massively behind for him to do his job. And
Yeah.
I think it's actually really good for this comp. Forrest just didn't have a great game, and T1 just fell over, unfortunately. So, yeah, I think the Viego is not a problematic pick. In fact, I think this draft was overall pretty good for T1, and it will be Duro. Hey.
Turns out that the Blitzcrank has enough
Sorry,
has
I have
enough
to do it.
magnetic pull to pull over enough votes to attract enough votes away from the boom boom damage. So boom boom damage's mass is pretty large, but the magnetic force pull from the crank was actually stronger.
I wonder if like we through Duro pulled Yundo, to our side, because Yundo is probably also considering some other votes.
Tell us the votes. Give us the inside information.
He said boom boom. I don't know what it means, but I think I know what it means.
Duh, crank.
Duh, crank.
Look at his vision score.
It was pretty decent because they had map control and he just kept clearing boards for free.
1 vote diff with jungle.
Okay.
Very nice. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like
that's good. That
good
makes me happy.
representation. Was there any media votes for? We don't have media votes. But was there any media votes for lure?
I don't know.
Just curious.
Duh,
crank.
I'm glad that
Clur?
collectively the LCK votes in both challenger and regular.
Challenger voters are based, man.
I mean, but I think just collectively, like we're seeing people not vote for Kaisa because they know that she's gets the last hits and she follows up on all the engage. She's not
does
really
like a
the
lot
star.
of damage.
Yeah, she's not really the star of the show. She is the very oppressive champion that looks really broken and is really broken, but she's not the one expressing the skill.
Yeah. All right. See you guys after the break. Doo-doo-dunga. welcome back to Challenger League. We are here. It says there are no subs for this game, but that is not true. I came back from eating almost half of my Subway sandwich, so I'm not sure why it says that. Also,
No submarines.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they mean.
Definitely true. So we're getting into game number 2. Game number 1 wasn't much of a game, Wolf, and we still talked about it a lot. That was weird. Why did we do that?
I mean, it is our profession, but
Yeah, but like,
I'm looking at
so what?
looking at game 2. I'm hoping for a little bit of change in the draft. Maybe some higher priority on the Kaisa, some lower priority on the Rakan based on what we saw there. Obviously, tough game to play out, getting hooked by Blitzcrank a lot and being that far behind. You are going to look silly, but if you try to do things, but maybe finding opportunity was not what T1 was able to do there. They kind of tried to force a Rakan-shaped peg into a Hanwha-shaped hole, let's just say, and you know, it did not quite have the fit they needed.
Yeah. The diamond-shaped block goes into, that's right, the square hole. A foot long or larger. Should be a foot long, although I don't know if it's actually a foot long. I didn't measure it myself. Could be like 11 inches. It's generally what it is.
We do 30 centimeters or 15 centimeters here in Korea. Actually, they used to actually say foot long in Korea, but they don't do that anymore. They say 30 centimeters. You and I were talking about this. You know, we were like, what if T1 plays the exact same draft as Hanwha did? But that would require them to pick red side, which we didn't expect. I was like, what if they do? They picked red side.
They picked red side, guys. So don't worry too much because the script did say 4 games today, so I'm not too worried about Home Life Esports somehow dropping a game based on what we saw from game 1. But hey, you never know.
You never
That's
know.
Challengers, baby.
That's Challengers, baby. That's what we say. Yeah. Cute little drawing.
Why is she
there.
crying blood?
I was trying to figure that out. But there's not really any clues on the sign itself.
What's that on the left? Is that a apparently
It
that's
says it's a shoulder.
her shoulders.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're really stressed out?
Maybe she's just like doing the shrug, like, I don't know, like anything could happen. I don't know.
No reason to shrug if you're a Home Life Esports Challenger League fan.
Well, T1 are gonna have to shrug off the loss. You know, let's say, and look at the Hanwha players as well as the coaching staff. Chuckling, Lure is smiling. Looks like the atmosphere is pretty decent over here as well for half of the team at least.
Lads, hello. The state of T1 is just in taters. Do you think management needs to be reviewed and changes made? Maybe. ... Question mark. I'm gonna say no.
Sorry, I just had to take a picture of that. I hope you guys heard my camera sound.
Yeah, I don't think that anyone. Oh, that's a nice little Home Life tomato train.
It's James from Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah.
I think it's an orange, Valdez. It doesn't look like one, but I think it's supposed to be.
Clearly,
she tried.
I'm aware of it that it is a tomato because it's red.
She tried. I think the lighting made it look red, but I think it's dark orange. We don't always get to this part of the song where it gets a little
Starts barking at us.
Yeah, the song starts barking, but who let the dogs out?
Bark, 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 bark. Yeah, I don't know.
Wolf and Valdez cast better than these guys. True.
Who are these guys?
I hate it when Wolf and Valdez are casting.
Yeah. Then the Fury mix. The Nasus mix. Well. Guys, what's gonna happen in game 2?
Is game 2 going to happen?
No. Oh, Rooster's back. Well, maybe a little quick toilet issue. Maybe a little had to go outside for some fresh air issue.
A bathroom break?
No, we wouldn't say
Just
that.
going to the bathroom really quickly, like the guy
What
in the
kind of
sign who's
issue
going
is
out the
it?
exit. What does the exit sign above T1 symbolize here?
Something about running through an entranceway pretty fast. Like, the guy looks like he's running pretty fast.
Wait, but there's also an exit over Hanwha Life Esports as well.
Casters, do you think that Kai'Sa after the nerfs is unplayable now? I'll let you answer that one, Wolf.
No. The answer is no.
All right, there you have it. I let Wolf answer. I didn't have to let. He could have answered without my permission as well.
Yeah,
He is
but
a free man.
I appreciate like that you were like just gonna let me do that and not make me feel guilty about it, or like I was sneaking around and answering things that are happening in chat. Felt like it was good. And he got banned.
Whoa. Where
So,
Teemo?
Here's the thing, Valdez. I think Hanwha are gonna first pick Kai'Sa, and then T1 can't play their draft. I think they're gonna do that. Tristana is banned as well, so they couldn't even lock that one in if they tried.
I tried to perform a satanic ritual. Nice try, Matt. Maybe try harder next time.
Maybe just send your well wishes instead.
No. I think satanic rituals are the way, actually.
I don't know.
Personally, I think that's the way.
I don't know about that.
So, big fan. I love the Nocturne here. Maybe this time.
Sejuani is still open. They banned Jack, so they're kind of saying, like, we're first picking Kai'Sa, by the way. You guys can have Sejuani and Renekton, I guess, but we're first picking Kai'Sa. And Hanwha Life, it will first pick Kai'Sa. That is not a first pickable champion, in my opinion.
It's okay.
I think you should do that.
The script said 4 games in total, so somehow it's going to work out. I wonder how it's going to work out, though. Rumble is pretty strong, but it's not like the end-all, be-all of the top lane, and it's not first pickable, as you mentioned.
So they just first pick Rumble because, like, oh, they're going to pick Renekton Sejuani, and we better have a good matchup for the top lane, right? And then they pick this because Kai'Sa will go over. So T1 could still play Hanwha's draft. We're on track.
We're on track.
The rel is gone, though, so we can't actually.
Oh, no.
But they can play most of the draft.
So how quick are they going to smash this Yone lock-in?
Well, probably about, like, within 3 seconds of this Maokai lock-in, I'd say.
Okay.
Jace is another option, but I personally would prefer the Yone here.
Somebody in YouTube chat asked twice, where is Faker? And then Cardano said, where's Waldo? All the important questions being asked here. Loki just said Mohai Ka, which means he's asking, what should I play?
Well,
and then he's listening.
He's listening.
Let's see. He smiled.
It's going to be Jace. Aw. No Yone. I thought he was going to lock it in. Well, let's see if T1 grabs Sejuani. It's now or never. Like, legit, like, right now, or they will ban it.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, next series, you could play it. As we're going to play Ahri.
What did they mean by that?
They were just asking for Vi Viego bans. And I don't know if Hanwha Life will allow that.
What do they mean by that? Why are you picking Ahri on 13-13 into Jace when you don't even have your jungle pick available? And it's like not even a good pick with what they already have. What are you doing?
What are they doing?
What do they mean by that, Wolf?
What did they mean by that? I don't know.
I'm about to blast off into the atmosphere right now.
I don't know what's going to happen. Okay.
If we ban Jace, everything's Blitz Crank, sorry. Then everything's fine.
Bot lane is gonna be. I mean, they're just gonna play Rakan support, I guess, and they're hoping that, or maybe they'll play Nautilus. I mean,
it's big brain. You force Vi Viego bans so that you get Sejuani.
I hope it's Nautilus and not Rakan into this comp. I hope so, but I don't. I'm not confident. I'm not sure.
Trying to understand challengers. Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
If this 5th pick, if this R5 is Wukong, I might just walk out. I might just leave.
Hey, at least they took Nautilus.
Okay.
Right.
All right. They took Nautilus, so now that we're gone. Okay, it's gonna be Draven into this. A lot of setup to get the first reset.
Lord's like, no! 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 No!
He's like reassuring his coaching staff he's not actually gonna lock it in. He just wants to put fear in their hearts and then lock the Xayah. Which I think is pretty good in this comp against the Renekton Ahri.
Ooh, Kha'Zix.
That's not Wukong, so I guess I'm staying. I'm staying for the cast, Valdez.
Well,
You're not
that
gonna have to
sound really
solo.
weird? I was just mimicking Lure. I thought that's like kind of similar to the pick that he was to the sound that he was making. Maybe not.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. But this comp here for T1. I mean, there's no tank for Hanwha. Technically, I mean, Maokai could build a little bit tankier, but it's not a like real strong tank pick. So if they are able to lock people down with CC, if they get ahead, if they have map control, this comp is pretty strong. If they are not ahead, see game 1, this comp does very little and will lose very painfully through the mid game. So let's see how proactive Nice can be on this Ahri. See how the Renekton goes. If Kha'Zix gives any attention to the top side before Maokai can just press R and say every team fight is ours. Because they have the better scaling AD carry. They have set up for their poke. And it's a good matchup in the top lane.
How much value do you think this Kha'Zix is going to get?
My guess is on a scale of 1 to 10, but lucky to see 3.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10.
Lucky to see 3, lucky to see 3. I'm going to be honest with you guys.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to say Apple. I think that's about as much. So we're not even on the same scale. What I'm trying to say is even if he does do a little bit of damage or like has some impact on this game, it won't matter. It's just not on the scale.
Oh, Valdez, this one's going to be a rough one. It's going to be a toughie, as Chronicle likes to say. Bit of a toughie.
Yep, but that's challengers, baby.
That's challenges, baby.
That's what Chronicler
right.
also says.
Even if we don't have the crank, I'm
Crank
here
ban?
for it.
He snuck in there right at the end.
Yeah, that was a close one. That's challenges, baby. Only live on Twitch and YouTube at LCK CL Global 2023.
Yeah.
Watch now. That's the new promo video, man. It's gonna do way bigger numbers than Chroniclers.
Who won the dance off?
I think definitely.
I think
Actually,
Kai'Sa has better default dance moves, but I liked Lure's movement and the emotes that he was putting out there as well. I'm gonna say Lure.
I kind of feel like Lure as well, yeah.
Do coaches not tilt when they see that? I'd be telling my player to break the code and attack.
It's kind of a it's kind of a respect thing in Korea, and also in other regions. To if you like interact like that, it is kind of an accepted. We're not going to fight here, and kind of an honor thing. It's not like either of those players were set up to make an invade happen. You don't do that when there's a blitzcrank on the other side. You don't have vision.
Yeah.
You wouldn't actually make a play like that. This is kind of like a, okay, we know what's going on here. We're not going to fight. We're going to wait until the minions clash. So let's say hi.
All right, comes in level 2 here for the T1 bot lane, working out pretty well. Nice block there on the W. Doesn't do too much damage at this point anyway.
So just like game 1, a little bit of a nice start here for a smash and bout. Because over here we picked Ahri and Jace, so you know we're living it.
I don't understand it, Wolf. It's not very nice.
We're living it. We're experiencing it.
Dal's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, that was clean.
Posturing forward and eating damage, but winning the damage trade anyway.
Problem with going for, okay, we're looking again. Now Duro takes so much damage. Heal up. But yeah, like the way that you can play that is nice. Might just be flashing here.
Yeah, not quite going to die yet, but as we can see, he has chewed through both of his potions already, or at least his one, and will have to probably back here in a little bit.
He actually didn't skill W. I was wondering, I was like, doesn't he just like kill him with W? But he didn't actually skill it. He went 2 points in Q, 1 in E there, so that's why Loki did not press W there. As yeah, the top matchup there, I was a little bit surprised Dahl went for the stun with his Fury instead of just going for a Q heal and trying to push that advantage instead. As it didn't lead to the trade he was looking for. That one's gonna miss. But now he's gonna TP back. We're trading TPs. He has the wave pushed now very far against him towards the turret, and he's not gonna have a fun time anymore, Valdez. They also traded flashes.
Yeah. No fun times allowed. Here comes Kha'Zix, the best diving jungler. Wait, wait, he's not good at that. Huh. Well, here's Kha'Zix anyway. He's hanging out, right? Well, I thought he was going to go do what he's good at, which is fighting the other jungler in isolation, but instead he's just going to go for back. Probably the right call in this case, despite my sarcasm.
The T1 Tater guy is back. He's moved to Twitch chat.
Yeah.
But he's written it much better this time, his concerns and fears.
Yeah, I don't think his take deserves any more attention anyway. Even though he's in Twitch chat this time around. But thank you for the write-up.
Yeah, I mean, Taker has an injury, oh man.
That's like truck buying levels of code right now.
I mean, there are other issues with the T1 LCK roster in terms of synergy and stuff, and some symptoms were there before to have a conversation about things, since nothing's really happening right now. But like, there were issues that were showing, yeah, it's not really the topic at hand now. Zayas did say in an interview that he also felt like there were problems before Faker got injured, but the issue is that this roster's been together for a long time, and it's not finding success anymore, and there's no reason to blame a team for having like insane amounts of success, like actually a crazy amount of success, and then like suddenly being just like a playoffs team with their mid laner injured. I'm like, wait, I don't know if are we really upset at the org for this? Like, maybe they'll make some changes next year, but I don't think we can really expect accountability right now. Like, what
How dare they not make another finals in a row? And unbelievable.
I'm also not even trying to call this guy out that mad, because he's like actually being really polite and stuff, but I've seen this sentiment a lot, and it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, fair enough. Do we think that they will switch to eating French fries instead in the 2024 season? I would say absolutely. French fries are really delicious, and I would be behind that change personally, myself. So, top lane's still going the way we expected it. This is what happens when you pick into this matchup. Renekton is good outside of lane nowadays, so you don't necessarily have to win lane every single time, but you know, just generally good that if you could pick something that doesn't get bopped in lane. But we'll see how that Renekton goes as the game comes along.
Yeah, it's not heading towards a happy place with the current trajectory, but that's not the only thing they've got in their compass. Forest is gonna make a play.
This is what you got. This is what you do if you're Kha'Zix, you know. You got nice. He's making some moves. Didn't work out though, because Guwon, he also understands that this is what Forest wants to do. He's down a level. He's like, no, I'm just gonna flash.
He just flashes, doesn't allow any potential pick to happen there. Nice. Obviously, if he doesn't flash, maybe Nice gets over there, but Nice can't charm because of the Raptor camp, so he actually kind of just tossed his ultimate into the nether. Unfortunately, won't be able to make a follow, but at least they're trying to do something together. The question becomes, like, if you want to play this Ahri comp, why didn't you draft for it earlier instead? You kind of get to have, like, either Vi Ahri, or you get to have, like, a different Kai'Sa comp with a mid laner that's going to empower your Kai'Sa. They kind of went for Kai'Sa, but then they were like, we got Ahri and Kha'Zix, which is not really the duo you're looking for. As you can see, the Kha'Zix can't set up the Ahri very well.
Yeah. I feel like if, I don't know, if you had insane confidence in your jungler to like really hard carry and just absolute jungle diff the game, I think it's okay. It's definitely risky. We already know that. But if it's like Canyon and Showmaker, and you're like, okay, this 2v2 duo is gonna absolutely bomb, then yeah, sure. But to be honest, I don't feel like the T1 Challengers team is in that same position, so that's kind of why we're not.
Yeah, I mean, confidence is a good
risky.
thing, but sometimes know your limits.
Yeah.
Guwon's just going to drop an ult.
Any R button pressers? As it seems like Bout is going to go down underneath the turret here. Nice little dive comes in after level 6. Guwon has taken a massive amount of damage. Nearly does go down as the knockup doesn't hit. Lore's still holding on to his Featherstorm, so he's just fine, but not the cleanest of dives we've ever seen.
That was just a really good reaction from Smash. Sees an opportunity there, knows that the Maokai is overextended and used his kit, so not be able to do anything there as a flash is expended here topside. Doll trying to make a play. We've actually missed 2 of those now, but last time it was traded. This time it's just going to be Rooster losing his flash, but no massive advantage going over. Rooster missed a harpoon right before he went to the bottom side, and looks like Doll was able to trade back after that and be like cut away from the flamethrower, like going off but not hitting anything because there was no slow from the harpoon. And yeah, looks like that's kind of like what started that all off, and then he just probably looked for a double slice and dice into stun. Rooster had to flash it. That's my expectation as what happened, but the end result, as it's shown, no flash on Rumble. Not a champion that's very reliant on his flash when you're ahead.
Yeah, not really. And with this prio from the top side, T1 actually will be able to pick up the Rift Herald, so nicely done. Wolf, what's your favorite GBA game of all time?
Fire Emblem. Just like the original one that was released as a...
Oh, look, he's dead. Trying to stop the Rift Herald. No, wait. Did they even drop the Rift Herald? No, they didn't. What? Nope. Trying to posture for it?
Well, that was successful. Okay, this time the Kazakhs, Ari, working out. And Loki is picked here, and that's going to be a lot of plates going over to Nice. Because, yeah, I'm referring, of course, to the first time it was localized for the North American audience. I do think the previous GBA one, Blazing Blade, Sealed Sword, excuse me, is the better one, but it is, you know, it's not my favorite, I'd say, because I don't have the same childhood memories associated with it. What about you? As we'll watch this one more time, Loki just greets for the minions there. And
Charm!
Good charm into hook, and Kha'Zix is actually going to take the kill, but that was a bit greedy there. Loki could have just walked back. So, yeah, what's your favorite?
Maybe the Pokemon trading card game.
Wasn't that a Game Boy Color game?
Maybe.
I think it was. Black cartridge, right? Where you build your own decks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a top tier game.
That game was really, really good.
I probably spent like at least $200.
Yeah. Same charm, absolutely. All right, GBC Black cartridge. There you go.
I think it was actually just a Game Boy. I don't think it was a Game Boy Color exclusive. I could be wrong.
Well, you got a little fight down here in the river. TP coming in as the hook will miss. As now we're gonna smash that ultimate into this one. The Maokai and the Rumble kind of working out. The damage nicely layered as down will go the support, but the follow-up here from T1 is pretty massive as Nice going in and getting so much value out of this Ari actually in this game as in goes Smash. Does hit the Killer Instinct as now Charm is going to miss, so they do get out. But T1 a nice follow-up fight from them.
Yeah, that was actually very well played, and the comp is working to a certain extent. I mean, even with the Renekton being fairly far behind in terms of CS, like he's making value in these team fights and a little bit disjointed from Hanwha Life. And this is what I was talking about with no tank. If you get ahead and you start making picks happen, the single target CC is really good here. And after Nature's Grasp is down here with the layered Rumble ultimate, yeah, you got a knock up here, but where's the damage? You're like, okay, cool, you got Bout, but Dog comes in, big Q here, and then it's just super easy follow-up for Nice, does dash forward with his ultimate, is getting some resets here, and Smash gonna help clean up house on the Jace. Just a very disjointed fight from Hanwha Life Esports this early in the game. It's not tank Maokai, by the way. You know, he went for Red Smite. Demonic Embrace is gonna give you a little bit of health, obviously, but it's not really gonna make you any tankier in these types of fights, so might be regretting the choice.
Yeah, I don't see why you would ever need more AP damage when you're playing with a Rumble. You don't. now your
really
saplings are going to do damage at times where the Rumble probably isn't doing damage, so you know, I guess there is a slight argument to be made, but Tank Maokai would have been just fine. You have oodles and boodles of damage in this composition. You don't need a... I mean, you could say, okay, he's trying to poke with the Jace. Well, I don't know. Do you really need to?
I mean, if you wanted to play like Ezreal in this comp, I'd be like, yeah, okay, they have a lot of poke, and they can play very slowly, but you still need a front to back, and you don't have a front line. So when your combo doesn't secure kills, your Xayah's like, well, I gotta leave. Like, we don't have a tank, we don't have a front line. They got so much pick, they got a Renekton walking towards us. What are we gonna do?
And the saplings can still give vision and check brush. They don't have to do damage, right?
Yeah.
It's still part of the kit. As we're trying to equalize here onto Dahl, who's just going to press a couple buttons and start to burn down the Rumble, who seems to be nearly dead. Rooster will have to flash. As again, this time we do see the trade, but we see that it's not necessarily going very well for Rooster.
Rooster doesn't seem to really know the matchup very well. You know, it seems like he is not that well versed at it. Like, there's a Hex Drinker on the side here of Dahl. Like, he's building and itemizing correctly here, invested in that after winning that fight bottom side, and it makes it a lot more difficult for him to burn through. And if you use your entire kit like that and just toss the equalizer, Renekton is just like, cool, I do more damage than you now, because you don't have anything else.
And of course, the Featherstorm, they will.
Rumble is a slow burn in this matchup, and that he needs to constantly be like using his flamethrower, not all in. That's not what you want to do for Renekton. This is starting to look kind of like your script might be. I'm
gonna change my sources after
today. You might need to.
Let's see. I wanna give, you know, I wanna see if it works out until the end. You know, maybe by the end of this game, somehow Hollow Life Esports. It is challengers after all. But as of right now, it's not really looking that great for Hollow Life Esports. As he is dead, he doesn't have flash, so Rooster gonna try to burn down Bout, but will not be successful. Very close though. As meanwhile, we got a fight down here on the bottom side. Flash on in. Very easy pickup here for Nice.
I mean, the map is just
trying to
shambles.
force this fight.
And nothing that is going wrong for Hollow Life Esports is really just. It's not like T1 are forcing some really cool macro plays and like pushing them out of position. They're just kind of outlaning them, basically. I mean, yeah, on the top side, Bout did roam up there, but Dahl is winning a matchup that's practically unwinnable for Renekton right now. He's going to get this turret. Bottom side, we're seeing the Jace get just absolutely destroyed 1v1 by Nice multiple times. As Loki here going to clear this and just walk up. And, I mean, look, he's a rookie player, right? Not the main mid laner for this roster. They took a risk on playing him here against a weaker team in T1.
He's got good hands.
He does have good hands, but brain
needs some development.
Yeah. Nice, on the other hand, you know, he didn't expect to have that opportunity, but he will absolutely seize upon it. And he's like, okay. I mean, the gold lead is everywhere on the map. Like, the Kha'Zix is working, and from ahead, this comp is absolutely playable. And if I'm playing the Challengers game right now, I'm saying your sources, bogus, man.
Bogus sources. Well, clearly Nice is very confident on this pick, and you know, anything in Challengers can win. We certainly do have LCK brain bias, where we're like, well, this comp just doesn't make any sense, and then the Challengers game, we're like, oh, well, I guess they just won their lanes, and the Kha'Zix got the Umbral Glaive really fast, and now Hollow Life Esports can't play the game because for some reason it seems like they don't really understand this one as a quick Featherstorm just to try to survive, as Lure is going to get caught out, elects not to flash.
I'm actually like ready to say this game is done, man. I think, there is like no angle anymore.
There was definitely an angle
angle
before.
Flash, yeah. For a flash there, yeah.
Well, from before there was an angle, but now there is not.
Yeah,
My source is already fired. I'm on the phone with them right now. I'm an AI, so I can do multiple things at the same time.
He's got enough RAM, it's fine.
It is Chemtech Soul? Again?
Yeah, but like the scaling argument for Hanwha is it's not there without a tank in the jungle, you know? I just don't see it. I don't see this Xayah actually being able to carry team fights with how this is going, and not just because he died in mid greeting, but just because he isn't going to have a way to actually do realistic damage when he's a low-range AD carry with no tank. And the poke setup here isn't great because the Jace is behind, the Rumble is behind. It's going to really take like some miraculous team fighting here. And T1, because it is Chemtech Soul, like They don't even have to opt into weird skirmishes they don't like. They can take every fight they want with all the vision control this Umbroglaive is going to give. This just feels really doomed to me, Valdez. Just saying. And I think you and I both very much strongly agreed that the draft was better for Han Malai.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The execution leaving a lot to be desired.
And that's Challengers, baby.
That's Challengers, baby!
That's Challengers, baby.
Who's the baby?
Wolf? Chronicler.
Okay.
Mr. Wolf, are you a Mosquito Mancer?
What does that mean? TT1? I miss TT1 StarCraft player. I hope he's doing well.
Do you control mosquitoes with blood magic?
Is that what it says?
That's what it means.
Oh, I mean, then no.
Okay, I mean, it was just a question from the chat. I mean,
But I
he
do-
thought maybe you were, so
I
he's just
did.
asking.
I did have 2 impressive mosquito eliminations yesterday in my house.
So you're like 2-0?
I was yesterday. Yeah, I haven't encountered any yet.
No
today.
losses?
No losses.
Okay.
Both of them were like first attempt captures as well. It wasn't like I was flying around and missed, and then I like got them later. Just
No
first try.
failures.
Both of them first try elimination. I'm pretty good in the house because I know the environment. Like I know better than the mosquito like
you've
what
played
the
on that
terrain
map
is
many
like.
times,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
In Challengers, you know, I mean, I know this room very well, but I'm attached to my chair. I'm immobile. I'm attached to this microphone. We're actually chained here to the casting desk. If you guys didn't know.
Yeah.
So really difficult to capture the mosquito here, but we were successful eventually, me and you, last week. We did eventually, but it was not on my first try. It was probably on like my 8th attempt or so. Speaking of 8,
So
we're getting close to an 8,000 gold lead here.
the players are just running around like headless chickens.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a copy pasta from yesterday.
Ah.
Somebody put it in seriously, and then I copy pasted it, and then the entire chat just went off. As you do. How much ward gold does Forrest have?
let me like look at he has 87 ward score. By the way, 220 of Kuan. It's okay, he's got saplings. I'm guessing he's probably got like upwards of 500, 550 maybe. Nah, that might be a bit high. Maybe like 400.
Yeah, I'd say like I was thinking like 350.
He's got 90. He's got 90 ward clear. 90 score here. It's actually insane.
Umbroglaive, pretty good item.
I mean, when also you have this much of a lead and they're just having to like try to leapfrog vision towards you, and you're just like, thanks for money, like
No equalizer? Question mark?
just let the turret go.
Rooster?
There's no objective to fight over. He definitely should have just. He definitely should have just tried to use it to save the turret. He doesn't seem very well versed on Rumble, and this is actually true of a lot of our top laners. I was talking with Huni about this a few days ago, and it's just very obvious that the Rumble top meta it was not something that a lot of these players played through or experienced. And now that he's suddenly relevant, even though he was very relevant in solo queue, he wasn't being seen in pro, people are suddenly like, oh, we have to play this, and I don't know how. And who won?
Do they have the damage? Nice with the Spirit Rush. I think he gets away.
So close.
He trades Flash and Spirit Rush for, I guess, the Flash of Guwon.
We'll buy some additional space around this Baron. But Rumble is not here. Rooster heading back up. Picked up a Dark Seal. I mean, he's so low eco this game. It is a rough time. Yeah, I think a lot of the players who've lived through the last like 3 years of LCK, like Rooster, for example, has been playing in Challengers, just aren't that strong at Rumble yet, and we're able to avoid practicing it, playing it, understanding the matchups. Whereas Renekton, we all know how that works. And Dahl is just on a much more impactful game here. And T1 have played a lot of Rumble themselves, actually, weirdly enough. We saw them play that strategy in playoffs last season. Let's see if that push out of the Ahri ends up leading to anything. So far, it's looking like the answer is no. Nice just returns, has his ult back up. Didn't even have to teleport. T1 are going to group on the Baron, take the Drake. The free forest is Kha'Zix, so he's going to kill it very quickly. Down he goes.
Got him. Man, that wasn't a very even fight. I mean, Chemtech Drake is just trying its best. It's not very fair.
Yeah, who would win one big, scary, cloudy, poison-reading dragon scaled up at 23 minutes, or a little squishy bug. Apparently
Well,
a little squishy bug.
if you ask Riot, they'll say the squishy bug.
Yeah, apparently the squishy bug. Huh.
Why aren't our objectives just little things so that they make sense lore-wise?
Yeah, why isn't it just like a bouncy ball
Yeah.
that, like, I don't know, shoots confetti at you?
I wouldn't mind that. That sounds pretty fun. This game is happening.
That Krug is
But it
trying to
doesn't feel
push
like
the
it's
bit to the
happening.
base, but like, Riot told me
Yo,
to
is
go
that
home.
Nico and her friend? T1 is going to take the Baron here.
They are.
23 minutes.
Let's see if we can see a big equalizer. I don't know if he was able to pick up that second item just yet. I think he's still on
They
just
have
the
turned
embrace.
off the Baron. And is now going to turn onto the Rumble.
Okay.
So actually just no equalizer.
Yeah, just
Turns
no
out,
equalizer. But
as
hold
there
on,
is
we're
a
active.
Croc in the backline. The Xayah is pretty big, but unfortunately not as big as the entire enemy team, who are trying his best, but he will go down. As this will be a clean ace in favor of T1.
That's game.
And should be the end of the game.
Well, walking right in, no vision, Umberglaive oppressive. And what do we say? You're ahead. You can do a lot. You know what? With the demonic embrace and a giant's belt, I don't think he was really going to be doing a whole lot of damage if you hit an equalizer on all of the team anyways. That's going to be it. Your script didn't come true, Valdez.
Embriage says that
It's a 6-gamer.
we're wrong for preferring the blue draft as I don't know if we should even get into it. This Nexus is going to go down, I think. If they do auto this a little bit more. He is trying to get on top of the Kaisa here, but Smash is able to ult in. A couple more autos will do it. Wait, really? Wait, no way! The game is not over!
Baby!
That's Challengers, baby!
Yeah!
Ah!
And it's bot lane where they pushed through, so the fact that this Nexus
Baron?
has no turrets, maybe your script was right, Valdez? Wait, hold on.
Wait, I need to rehire my scriptwriters right now.
Yeah, I feel like this is a weird scenario we're now in.
Well, they absolutely get the Drake. There's no teleports, nobody's even alive.
You mean the Baron, but yeah.
Yeah, the Baron.
Yeah, because I mean, they're going to get bounty gold from this too, so let's see how much gold they end up picking up. Like, okay, like almost 3K across like all the objectives that are left to take.
Rooster's just sitting there buffing, man. He's fooling us. Sitting there buffing minions.
His Night Harvester's done. He picked up 7 Dark Seal stacks off of that play as well.
Whoa, isn't that our first ban of the day? Maybe you could squash the Chronicle.
Yeah, look at his username, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. Rooster does just walk up here and instantly die, as we talked about. And then this is the power of Xayah in longer fights against this comp. It's actually super good if you have his front line. She didn't have one, so she ultimately dies because they got steamrolled. But I don't know if we'll get a replay of the near take of the Nexus. Probably don't really need one, but that's what happened next. And so Hanwha do have Baron. It's not really amounting to too much map control at the moment. So, you know, it ultimately may not matter too much, but it's the first step in the right direction. The Rumble got a lot of money, like I said, 7 stacks of Dark Seal, close to a Void Staff now. The Rumble is suddenly relevant. Maokai
And
not so much, but, you know.
I'm beginning to like Chemtech Soul because it really widens our possibilities in the game, you know? Like a lot of the souls are like, okay, well, we're gonna fight over this soul, and that's the end of it. It's just very one-dimensional. Like, okay, we're gonna fight for Hextech Soul. Either we win on this one, or the game is over, and that's it. But with Chemtech Soul, Life Esports can sit on their hands in their base and just wait for T1 to make a mistake. They're like, oh yeah, sure. You got 3 Chemtech Drakes and the Soul. See if we care. We don't.
We got one
we never did.
Hextech Drake, and that's more relevant. And yeah, the other thing is, I mean, it basically allows you to imagine a world of League of Legends without dragons, basically. Straight up. You're like, oh yeah, this is what League would be like if there were no dragons. It would look like this. Wild.
So we're just not. So T1.
I mean, they don't want to spawn the Elder, right?
It's actually smart. Don't spawn the Elder.
They don't want to spawn the
You
Elder.
don't want to flip.
Don't spawn the Elder.
Don't spawn the Elder. No, no. You were already right. No, you already made the right decision.
Yeah, well,
Don't spawn the Elder.
they're gonna spawn the Elder. It's okay. They'll get the Soul. And the
Renekton
Soul
loves
itself is,
Chemtech Soul.
yeah, it's pretty good for him. It's pretty good for Nautilus and
What's
Kaisa.
better than Chemtech Soul for Renekton is Elder Drake for Home Life Esports.
True. So, I don't know if we get to that fight, because I think that T1 are so ahead they could probably still just push to end fairly soon here. The Baron buff minions are making it a little bit tougher, but that's fading away here in 15 seconds, so... Let's see how you could do without a tank Maokai in a front to back with the Xayah, who has quick blades now.
He's Radiant Virtue now.
Yeah, but I mean, still, he's not that tanky.
Why is he building more AP? Is he building Zonias?
Yeah,
Huh.
guess so.
Okay, we're gonna press our R button, zone them away.
And then the next mini wave will come in another location. They'll have to deal with that. 40 seconds on this bot inhib. And T1 are just going to try to further their control of the map. I mean, it doesn't get much more control than the edge of the enemy base, but as long as they maintain that for 5 minutes, should be able to have no problems on Elder, right? No flip angle.
Surely.
Surely.
Yeah.
No flips.
Janice. I'm just saying, right? You know,
Oh, okay. All right.
Shirley, Janice. Beth, yeah.
Bit of an older one, but yeah.
Alice.
Alice, yeah.
Gertrude. All kind of in the same vein, yeah.
Kelsey.
Okay. Kelsey, oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Boris. What? You don't like Boris?
No, I mean, I thought it was a bit different from the other ones. Yeah, that's fine.
No, I think it fits right in. Boris kind of fits in any situation.
It's still an 8,000 gold lead. It is a soul, I guess. And
It's good for Renekton.
T1, they backed to buy items. Yeah, it's good for Renekton. It's like decent for everybody else, kind of ish. I mean, they will get the benefit if they go low. They won't.
This Renekton build, did you mention this?
Yeah. The Maw of Mount Mortius, he picked up the Hexdrink early.
And the Guardian Angel, it's just like tank Renekton. Not really.
It's pretty common to
It's
go
like
third
tanky
item
Renekton.
GA on Renekton.
But he has like no Black Cleaver, no fist thingy.
Sterix.
Yeah, no Sterix. No like other slightly more offensive item.
I think this is, I actually think it's correct because the GA also gives you attack stats, right? Like it's a good in-between for just being a front line for this comp because they don't really have one. And I guess that's probably what you were highlighting, I don't know what you're getting at, but they have a Edge of Night for the Kazakhs as well, and there's kind of a lot of fail-safes for T1 engaging and just forcing fights to be going in their favor. It's kind of just like, do you hit all of your abilities? Do you actually get the Xayah? And if the answer to those questions is yes, like, probably win. Also, do you stand on Equalizer as 5? Like, if the answer is no, like, probably feeling pretty good. Majai's for Nice does feel like a bit of a gold sink at this point, but especially considering that this game shouldn't go longer to where you're going to actually get value out of that.
Is
But
5 stacks Magi is better than another
the
item?
first rod of
Yeah.
your death cap that you should be building? Probably not.
Don't think so.
No.
Because as you're kind of
Alluding to?
there's probably just going to be one fight and the game's over. So this Baron is going to go down. This bout goes in. The ult will be pressed from Guwon. Bout pretty tanky at this point, and Home Life Esports not really finding an angle. T1 considering whether or not they want to fight here, as in goes the Kaisa. And in goes Nice as well. He is a little bit alone. The rest of the team trying to follow up from here, but Nice is probably dead. Yeah, flash on in as Nice equalizer right on top of Dal, but over the wall goes Forest, does get the kill onto the Rumble as the flash on in, but that is Maokai, so not necessarily ready to go, but Dal will be able to TP into this one.
It's an Elder Flip, man. I'm telling you guys right now, like, this is what this game's down to. Bit of a trade of kills here. TP coming in the bottom side. He wants to try to force down that inhibitor. They've got a lot of top pressure. Let's see what Hanwha Life could do with the time they've been given here before that Renekton shows up. Not a whole lot. Without Nature's Grasp, which is just thrown to the wind on that Baron fight, in air quotes. I think T1 have this, but Hanwha trying to posture against it, trying to fight back without ults.
the wave clear here from HLE Esports is pretty pitiful, so they don't really have a chance. I mean, Dahl could even just stand there and it's good enough, so yeah, they're going to get 2 inhibitors, and with the Baron buff, it just makes it almost impossible for HLE Esports to clear out the waves.
There's no Nexus turrets, T1. Just reminding. I mean, they can't hear me, but I would like to.
Dahl is going to go down to his GA.
Everyone's so split. Like, where's the Kha'Zix? He's running away from the Jace.
Lure's in a little bit of a rough spot, but he still has the Featherstorm. In comes Nice, and now they're just going to press their buttons and roll their face on the keyboard. And they do get the job done at the end of the day. Rooster will be the last one to go down, but T1 will force a game number 3 into this best of 3. There it goes. Took a little bit to get over the line here, but, you know, T1 get there at the end of the day.
Pretty clean game from them. They played from ahead very well. They controlled vision. And after what we saw in game 1, I just really did not expect. I mean, I couldn't imagine that T1 was going to bounce back in this series, but even with a draft that's much weaker, especially from behind, they pulled off, because guess what? They didn't get behind. They were not behind at any moment. They, in fact, were, like, the goal difference that you see there, it's like, oh, actually, technically, Wolf, like, they were behind until, like, 10 minutes. No, they were ahead, actually, the whole game. They had more presence in every lane. The Rumble, it didn't work out for HLE Esports. Unfortunately, Rooster does not seem to be super well-versed on the champion. I didn't actually check his Rumble stats during that game, which I probably should have, but it just felt like that's got to be a first-timer, right? It is. First time on Rumble this season. So, yeah, just maybe some more practice required. But maybe HLE, the whole idea was we're playing Loki, we're going Rumble Prio in this series, let's treat this like a scrim, as it certainly feels like it.
Well, I'll have you know that Rooster did the most damage in the game.
I hope so on Rumble in these 2 comps.
It was very topical, but everything was also on fire at the same time, at least on their side. So, T1, who is going to pick up the player of the game? My vote's on Chad.
I voted for Jungle.
Oh.
But I think it's between Jungle and Mid.
I voted for top.
Really?
Yeah.
That was pretty bold. I think there's nothing wrong with it.
I mean, he won the matchup regardless of how Rooster played, and then he was insane in team fights and did some big boom Renekton things. Even though his damage wasn't there. I don't know. Media kick W?
No, I actually think it's a solid vote, and I think he backed it up really well. That early Drake fight, he was like the main character. Like, it was won by his massive Q.
It's Forest.
That's okay.
Wow, first time this season.
He's had a bit of a rougher one. And, you know, his game 1 performance wasn't ideal on the Viego, but we were skeptical about the Kha'Zix, but, you know, I keep going back to, like, if ahead, it's very powerful. Yeah, I think this was a clean game from T1 where they definitely knew what the draft's win conditions were and how to play around it. And we don't always see that in challenges, especially at the win rate that T1 is at, let's say.
Yes. And Wolf, I do feel like we kind of flipped a coin and T1 landed up on heads this time around. That's Challengers, baby. I don't know, man. This is it's a wild ride every single day.
It's a wild ride. I think it's a 6-game night.
At this point, I'm not allowed to make any calls because my sources were wrong. They were absolutely wrong. No 4-game nights. That's it. This might be the 5-game cringer. We'll have to wait and see, guys. We're going to take a break and be back for game 3. Hello and welcome back. We are here to start comment for the third game. And you know what? I fired my sources. I actually have no idea what's going to happen from here because I didn't have enough time to hire new sources. You know, I'm going to try to do my research this time. How many games are we going to have today, Wolf?
It feels like 6 to me at this point in time.
Okay.
So that's what I'm feeling.
All
I think
right.
KT take a game off Nongshim, better team, but you know sometimes it gets a little bit shaky. Sometimes it gets a little bit weird in the drafting.
True.
This series we're getting the full range. Okay, we got the Omega Stomp into the almost as big of an Omega Stomp. So T1 could win the whole thing. They could win Game 3. I could see it. I could see it. In my mind's eye, I can see it.
You could see it like
here.
Forrest in that last game. He like saw everything with his bug mind, overlord mind thing.
/ Umbroglaive and zombie wards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're talking about the same thing here.
Oh, okay. Cool. We're on
Yeah.
the same page. Someone's saying it's a 9-game day. That would require a lot of regaming.
Yeah. There's
It's not
someone also that was like,
Impossible.
it's the 1-1 script. We're going to 7 games. I'm like, I don't think you know how many games are in a day.
They don't know.
Unless he thinks it's 3 series and then it's like 1-1 goes to 2-1 and the rest are 2-0, 2-0. That's the only way it would be 7.
He probably just thinks it's a 3-game Monday, but it's 2-game Tuesday.
There's nothing better than crack a cold one with the boys and watch LOL esport together on the big screen.
Agreed.
No, I don't have my sources anymore. I fired them. Warchug.
I think it's Work Hug.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's Work Hug.
No. No, it's Warchug.
I think it's War Hug.
No, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. You guys are having a short day today. Only 5 games. Nope. That's not what Wolf said.
It's not what I'm not feeling it, guys.
War hug.
I would like.
I like Wolf. He is a T1 fan.
That's not true. I would like.
Is
to
this guy
see-
straight from Reddit?
Yeah, he is.
John McClane. John McCline.
You know what I want, Valdez? For the
Smarter
draft for
fans.
Game 3 to happen.
No, sorry, you'll
I
never
want the
get that.
draft for Game 3 to happen. That's what I want.
Well,
wanna see
you know,
some
we
draft
need some
adaptation.
time because we're gonna actually no. There's no subs. Not in this.
Loki is
series.
staying, man. He is
Yep.
not. He's not going anywhere. Look at him. He's right there.
Wow. A lot less
Where's
smiling.
Romer, Hanwha?
A lot of smiling and joking around this time.
Well, I don't think we'll be seeing Hanwha Life Esports first picking Rumble this time.
No. Instead,
Perhaps ban it.
honestly, I think they should ban it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey.
Hey, we made it happen.
So let's see what happens next. Rel, okay. So following the pattern. They could ban Kaisa this time around. Hanwha Life Esports might be looking to first pick it. I was a little bit surprised they first picked the Rumble in Game 2. Did definitely not work out for them. As final ban here, there's a lot of things you could take away. Sejuani, Renekton, Nico
Nico on 13-13.
on blue side.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they think it's not first pickable, but still generally pickable. So they're like, well, we don't want this on our team, and we certainly don't want to first pick it, so we're just going to take it away.
Well, it just allows T1 to ban Kaisa. They will ban Sejuani instead. So Hanwha Life Esports could be like, okay, now you don't have Sejuani for when we first pick Kaisa.
Yeah. There's not even the Tristana beat. There's like nothing in their way. They're like, okay, we're absolutely first picking
that was-
Tristana, or Kaisa rather.
That was a draft mistake, I would say. Let's see if they just want to play Vi Ahri, because maybe that's what they want to do, and they're just going to do that. And you know, with how game number 2 went, I mean, I wouldn't really put it past them, and I wouldn't hate it that much, because the execution was pretty good jungle mid between Forest and Nice. Renekton first, and then maybe the Vi, and they could take that Ahri away. That is not... I was a little bit worried when they banned Sejuani. I was like, oh, they want LeBlanc, but just don't think that is what I'm asking for. That's not what I want. That's not what I'm about.
We're not big fans of LeBlanc.
Not even little fans,
in
to be
this
honest.
current year.
Yeah, no.
LeBlanc Ludens, please. Yeah, maybe next year. It's okay, Forest Lee. I mean, Lee Sin LeBlanc. Very, 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 very good. Lee Blanc. Huh? Why? Well, I don't know. You hate her? What? No. Embryage is just, he chose violence today. Yeah. He's like, you guys said this draft was bad. You don't know what you're talking about. He's like, you hate LeBlanc. Well, actually, we do. He's right in this case. Vi Jack's going to be the choice here.
Well, we'll force some bans.
Lee Blanc?
I think it's a pretty good chance. They could play Kha'Zix again, but it's not the same kind of power in this draft. But it can be very oppressive if you get ahead, similar to how it was in the last game. And then maybe we will see Ludens LeBlanc, and maybe it's going to be that kind of game. Nope. Just going straight for Xayah instead. All right, so Xayah versus Kai'Sa. Ahri playing banned away from Loki. That's my expectation. And then Annie will probably follow.
Remember when you hated Renekton?
I never hated Renekton.
I don't really know what time you're talking about. Yeah, we didn't like Renekton when it was bad, but nowadays it's good.
I also
so we don't dislike Renekton anymore.
Weirdly, I was the guy who
strangely we can change our opinions, Wolf,
based
with
on
the meta
information
change.
that happens, yeah, and things that change. Yeah,
strange.
I also like didn't hate Renekton that much back then, to be honest. That was like everyone except me, but it was fine. Gen.G went pretty deep in that tournament, you know. All right, Viego instead of. Well, I guess Viego's fine. The Lee does kind of stand out, but should be Ahri. Okay, I was gonna say T1, like you just did this, like you just played this type of comp. I think you should probably know what is good with it. They do. They figured it out. Is it just gonna be a Lee Sin ban? I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. What is the idea here? You would have to
think
imagine
of like
jungle ban.
as well. It could be an option, yeah, because
Xayah
Rakan, pretty strong, works well with the comp.
We get reprogrammed. So even though we're AI, we are able to have. It's kind of like
this guy's like are these casters AI? Can't they evolve and change like artificial intelligence? Like, yeah, I mean that's what AI does. It evolves, it gets information.
We're just
and
like humans.
It has intelligence. Like what?
Yeah. No, we're being very open.
AI
about
does
our
not
AI-ness.
program robot. I don't know.
Who's the master programmer though?
I don't know. I don't know what I know less about the master programmer or this Pyke.
It's exactly what an AI would say. Exactly. See, haven't evolved since season 2. Why is Atmong's no longer dead?
The Leona is pretty good here. I like the Leona.
I love the Nocturne here.
What are we doing? I don't know.
Nocturne mid. Imagine trying to play LeBlanc into that.
Why don't just play Ahri? Or sorry, Annie.
And he was banned in game number 1, or 2 rather, and they are going to play it.
Thank you. Thank you, Loki.
I really loved the Nocturne there, but unfortunately they're not going to pick
Turn mid.
How about Nocturne here for Forest? Love the Nocturne here.
He's going to play Kha'Zix.
No! No! Why?
I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't want to get anyone... You know, I wanted to keep the hope alive, but it seemed like it's
well, Embryage is happy. He's a big Kha'Zix fan, and you know, Kha'Zix worked out really well in the last game. I think T1, you know, they were able to make the Kha'Zix work due to winning a bunch of lanes and getting him ahead, and Forest having some good angles. So maybe he can get them again, and perhaps they make it work a second time.
I think Rooster is a much better Jax player than he is a Rumble player, and with Vi, Annie, Kai'Sa, Leona, the engage opportunities are massive. They could, you know, I mean, T1, if they get ahead, could have a similar oppressive draft of the ones that we saw, or the game that we saw in Game 2, but let's see what Nice does on this LeBlanc. I don't feel like, even with the lead that T1 had, in that previous game that it will be enough to push them across the finish line this time with this draft, because the Ahri and the Kai'Sa were much stronger at just like continuing to constantly apply pressure than the LeBlanc and Xayah are in this meta. And maybe it won't be Shiv LeBlanc. It's definitely going to be Shiv LeBlanc.
Yes. It's going to be Shiv LeBlanc. And Browse was asking, why? Why is it bad? Why don't we like it? It just takes very long to scale. We don't feel like the teams play around it very well, especially in Challengers. It's going to be really rough, I would say, to play around a Shiv LeBlanc correctly when even pretty much all of our teams in LCK can't do it yet.
It doesn't have AP scaling on this patch anymore.
That too
has been removed, so it's just it still does wave clear. We'll see if she goes DMAT. I don't know, Valdez. Not feeling great about it.
Yeah, let's see. We are ready, guys. Let's hop on the ref for game number 3. Well,
to be honest, Valdez,
we had to skip it.
We've lost sight of what it really was, like the strum there at the end. I feel like we overpronounced it for so long that I was expecting it to drown out the fan chants, and it's like legit just like it's like the quietest and calmest sound. I'm like, I think we changed the identity. Sometimes we gotta like look back and like appreciate what it was before we changed it and made it into this big amalgamation. You know, was what we did even right? Is it even correct, like what we were doing this whole time?
I think it was okay to do the do, but as we said last week, we're not going to do it over the fan chants. So this time the fan chant was late, and so we skipped it. But in the future, when the fan chants are on time and earlier, and we get a chance to do, then we can do. But this time was not the time, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, let's see what T1 does. Excuse me. Let's see what T1 does.
Let's see what T1 does.
Yeah, Kai'Sa pretty good, but actually that win rate's pretty low considering the strength of Kai'Sa.
Somehow he still has a 12 KDA.
Yeah, that's... Even in losses, he's doing a lot. Hey, I've seen this
the hook comes in, throws in a lot of trouble, does not have Eclipse yet. Nearly dies, flashes after the entire trade happens, and is now going to try to stick around in the lane.
And Loki's like, cool story, bro. Thanks for your passive. Yeah, that's not great. This is, I feel like each and every game bout hits level 2, hits a hook. And
this ask Wolf. Hey Wolf, Arion Annie, doesn't she's better with first strike?
It depends on the matchup. One where you want to be trading aggressively all the time and need all the damage you can get against a LeBlanc, who you won't be able to proc first strike on very easily. It's actually much better, I'd say. First strike feels really nice in matchups where you can just walk up and plant bear to acquire gold. But in matchups like this one, where it requires a little bit more finesse, even an auto attack can proc the area and give you better trades. So that's my take on why I like Ari in this matchup.
There's a big trade from Nice there. And yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, imagine in that case, like the LeBlanc's going to hit you first as your very slow auto attack comes out, and you just don't get to have a first strike.
Yeah,
bit of an
she
issue.
will get you first.
Exactly. So, really matchup dependent. First strike is good for free gold when it's dependable.
You can go first strike in a lot of matchups. Even against like Ahri, I think it's okay. You know, I'd still like to go for Ahri against Ahri, but like you can first strike against Ahri, but against LeBlanc, you just aren't going to be able to proc it as easily. She can just avoid your setups pre-6, and then dropping a bear on LeBlanc is pretty hard to do, unless she makes a mistake. Guan wants to do something here.
Oh, that's the distortion. You got the distortion out of the LeBlanc. There you are going to go in on this. Just waiting for the stun. In they go. Nice. Very low, and Guan will pick up the first blood. Just hits her in the back, and very nicely played. Very nicely done.
Wait for that distortion. Pretty simple, pre-6. No additional mobility. Flash? Yeah, he flashed there. He did use it.
So I'm not sure if you're asking for the nice flash because he didn't see Guwon at all and did not expect him to be around because his jungler was just here. So Annie is just going to walk up and press her Q button. You wouldn't flash that normally, right? Yeah. Like maybe if you're looking at exactly where Guwon is coming from and you see him, Guwon, it just looked weird on his flash, but he flashed a short flash to get the last hit and make sure that he got the kill before Nice flashed away. There was nothing wrong about this trade at all.
Yeah, no. Pretty standard. No mistakes there. It's a short flash, as mentioned, just to close the gap. Didn't look like she flashed if you weren't really honed in on it. As HLE going to try to come over here and contest this. I do not.
Well, Duro is getting a lot of value out of his Eclipse, but again, Loki just got here. He's not even level 6 as Spawn.
T1 is going to win this series, Valdez. I'm watching this happen, man. The upset is happening tonight.
T1 are playing well, to be honest. And I think that after Game 2, HLE Esports didn't really... Okay, trading some flashes here. Nice, really wants to go in on that, but Forrest says, well, I don't have flash, so...
I mean...
Not going to continue. It's still a good trade for Nice here.
It was a nice gank in mid, right? Like, nothing wrong with that. Like, Guwon secures the kill there, flashes down, whatever. You know, moments like this, you know, you're helping out your rookie mid laner, but... You know, the draft is also pretty good here for HLE. You know, we talked about all the things that can go wrong even when we have a favored draft. Like, so many times in Challenge, we're like, oh yeah, this draft is better, but we'll see what happens. But consistently, after Game 1, HLE have just been making some puzzling decisions, and you know, maybe they should be the ones playing the pick comp again, because contesting this, and like, look at how many times they happy feet like, do we go in? Are we going in? Are we going in? And then they're just like, we have to go in because we're this far gone. I'm like, no, you actually don't. But you've donated some additional gold here. No flash on the Vi, of course, as mentioned before. And T1 are massively ahead now. Not just like slightly ahead, not like, oh, it's going all right. It's like, okay, well, Kha'Zix is a problem again. He's going to be able to now take away your vision, and they have a block.
Yeah, and you still have the prio from top because Renekton should be winning this matchup at this point, which he is. By the way, forces the flash out of Rooster. Dahl is winning this once again. And so they get the Rift Herald as well, nearly on spawn, no doubt, as Forrest is going to go back and already has an Umbral Glaive, so just a really early 7-minute Umbral Glaive that allows you to get even more map control and allow you to pick up the objectives. So T1 in a really, really good spot. People were asking, you know, are T1 playing well or HLE Esports playing bad? I think it's a bit of both. I mean, HLE Esports are much better than what they're showing tonight, that's for sure. Yeah,
that's for sure. And I think T1 are overperforming, I think, in this third game, Hano with a, again, basically mid-sub. Having a bit of a struggle. I think some of the shot calling is fallen by the wayside, and into the comps that are in this meta, especially like what T1 is running here, you can't be affording to give gold away like that for free, basically. And the question becomes like, what was even the thought process? Because Drake is gone. Like, you're not even close to getting there. You don't have the numbers advantage. Your team isn't grouped. Speaking of not being grouped, I was scared that maybe Forrest was going to go in there to an Annie who's about to have that stun prepped. No one else to help him out, but... And then, you know, Duro's like, I'm going to die here, so I guess I'll go in. And then the team is like, he went in, so maybe? And then... It's definitely not planned. It was a freestyle choice. He is going to drop a bear.
He does get the bear. Guwon going for a very similar gank where he just hops over the wall into the bush. We'll see if it works out. He's level 6. I mean, nice, no flash. Should be pretty straightforward, even with the distortion here, as the follow-up from the stun is going to get the correct one. And there it is. Very nicely done. Forrest does pick up the objective, as we expected, but at least HLE Esports are getting other wins while that's happening.
Yeah. So, second kill on the little Blanc. Feels really nice, no pun intended. And it's just a clean gank from Guwon, who did get caught in that last skirmish, but it wasn't really his call to go in. And he's been making a big impact this game. The Renekton is a big problem. What?
What did Loki mean by that? The crying bear emoji?
No. But Renekton's up, like you said, in the early matchup. And I think if Nice had respected the gank potential here both times and wasn't, you know, didn't actually die here, then it's a lot better. It's tough. The wave's in a really aggressive spot, or allows aggressive plays. Yeah, Tibbers bait.
He got that 50 gold.
And, you know, I mean, it's still a decent spot here for T1, but could be better.
Sticking around. I think this 2v2 is going to happen.
I mean, Guwon doesn't have ult, so...
They're trying to bait this one in from first. They don't know Forest is here, but now Forest is going to show up as the Vi going to miss. No ult, as you mentioned, as now. I think T1 recognized that. The ult here on the Kha'Zix. Stahl not really able to get in range to do damage. The follow-up here flashes in. Does have the Q, but the damage not quite there. Guwon is going to survive as the execution not really on point, and there's a happy alpaca from Guwon.
Yeah, he didn't have Core Drinker, only the Iron Spike Whip, so that activatable is not going to be what he needs to survive through that one. He gets another Q, but not quite enough damage. It is outcalculated. So another big win here for Hanwha Life in one of these skirmishes. And it's been Guwon who's coming up big each and every time. Doesn't have ult, doesn't hit his Q here, but just his presence alone when this is attempted by T1 is going to be enough. As Dahl goes super low, Q's here once, waits for the Fury to come up so he can actually get more healing. That's when Rooster and Guwon fight away. Forrest goes in as deep as he can to do that additional damage, and then Dahl decides, okay, gonna flash for this one. And Q healing comes through when Rooster stands on him, so he gets double Q, but it's still not enough damage. Like, he needed about like 20 more damage to actually get that kill.
Just a little bit behind on that one. But
he played it really well otherwise.
Yeah.
He made sure he hit both with the Q to get the maximum amount of healing.
Another Chemtech? 3 in a row, Wolf. 3 Chemtech souls in a row in my challengers.
That's an anomaly.
How dare the Rift do that?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But we got
Somebody
Mega
get Ox
Plants.
on the phone.
We got Mega Plants. And escapes and engages.
I'm
Gonna be
message
extended.
him.
He's actually messaging right now.
Yeah.
He's adding him. Getting in his mentions.
Yeah. I sent 7 question marks as well in the message, and the message was not nicely phrased, let's just say.
Sure.
Well, let's see what he has to say to defend himself for this absolute atrocity.
It's a big atrocity. Bout? He's going in. Smash is like, I mean, I'm not here. I'm down to go in if like Duro doesn't show up, but I think he's probably going to show up. Pretty good chance. So
yeah, Valdez loves blast plants. That's very true.
Blast pants?
Bast plants.
Balst?
Wow. Can't believe you would say that.
Labast pants?
All right, Duro doing a good job baiting them in? Question mark. Actually works out. Yeah, Forest going to be 100 to 0'd, and you know what? In team fights, if the Kha'Zix is being focused and Hanwha Life Esports are still on even footing, you've got a lot of ways to collapse onto him, and Forest is not really able to survive through any of that burst.
So we're tossing it all in for a red buff. Trying to go, all right, let's see if I can steal that red buff away. I got Rumberglaive. Might have some modicum of vision control. Maybe
Where's
we
the
make this
purple
happen.
buff, though?
Look at this. Yeah, I don't know. That's right. Still working on that one. He's over here, clears that ward. They know you're there. Oh, maybe we'll catch Duro, but then Guwon Q's ults over the wall. Duro's there to follow up. And with the follow-up that you have with Vi, Kaisa, if you go out a little bit too far, they will catch you. The follow-up and, I guess, extended engage range here for Hanwha is quite high. So, okay. Take a bit of a whoopsie as Forrest. That's some of your gold lead gone. Still sitting on 600 the advantage at the moment, but it's fading.
It's Phaeton?
Fading. And they may be fated to have it fade away.
Okay. Dear lovely casters, can you do a shout out to Barbie?
No,
It's the best movie ever.
I'm not going to do that. You can if you want, Bellas. I haven't seen it, so kind of weird if I did that, especially when we're not, really supposed to do that.
I don't think I'm gonna see the Barbie movie. Personally, I'm not really that interested.
I mean, if I had nothing going on, I'm vaguely interested, but I have a lot going on in terms of work schedule right now, so it's not going to fit my time budget.
Oppenheimer, okay, this guy's dead. Nice, playing LeBlanc, but can't seem to dash very much. There's a lot of CC on the side of Homolife Esports, and you got to be careful. This has happened multiple times now. You know, Homolife, they have a bunch of go buttons. They press, you know, a buy ult or a Leona combo, and somebody is going to die. There's a lot of squishy members on the side of T1, and it means it means your positioning has to be better than it has been.
Yeah, I mean, they're just really kind of throwing caution to the wind, a little bit of haphazard setup, and it is going to cost them big. I mean, they had a pretty significant lead. They now no longer have a gold lead. They still have a 2 Drake lead, but as we've mentioned several times, this series with a Chemtech Soul, less relevant here. I mean, Oppenheimer, I heard Killian Murphy is actually playing Barrel in that one.
Yeah.
Still waiting to see if, you know, what the reviews on that are going to be like here in Korea. It's not out just yet.
Until
our
August.
region, yeah.
Yeah. In our region, in the LCK region, it's not out yet. No. So, oh, Nice is going to do it. He did it. He hit the green one, and he hit the other one, too. So
yeah.
he hit the Scryers on his way to lane, and I'm like, you know, why does he hit that one and not the green one, the little honey fruit? I mean, you might as well.
He's waiting for minions, you know. He's got some extra time. And he's going to do it. Now he's going to, after deleting them with his Shiv, go over here and hit this turret. And is there an answer? No. So that's actually going to be pretty good for them, as this Drake hasn't spawned yet. HLE going to use this Herald here, but at the cost of a free turret, just straight up.
Yeah. I mean, Nice is playing Shiv LeBlanc the way it should be played.
Yeah.
Just sit in the bottom side, especially with Chemtech Soul. Just sit there all day long. Just farm it out. You know, you got the Shiv. You're 0-3. You're not worth the gold. Just stay there. Just push bottom lane. If they collapse on you, your team takes Chemtech Drake. You're good. It's a good trade, kind of. If it was a better Drake, that would be better, but still good. You know, maybe you can get someone in the top lane like Dahl.
I mean,
who's about to have teleport,
like,
and give them the Chemtech Drake. It's
they're
okay.
like pushing this turret and leaving minions here as Nice is becoming more and more relevant. And
this is good. The pings in the top lane, yes, exactly. Give up the Drake, yes. T1.
They're doing it. They're seeing it.
T1 challengers making the right macro call.
I personally love to see it. And Nice is going to pick up a control ward. Fairly sure he like left the base and he was like, hold on, grabs control ward, which is pretty helpful on LeBlanc because she can place very easily with her distortion wherever she'd like to get it. And you know, as Homolife here, still a winnable game. Have a lot of good, very good engage opportunities, but going to need to, you know, kind of hit those benchmarks when we get to a team fight that's relevant, which will probably be, you know, around like 23 minutes. When it's Baron time, because right now both these teams don't have enough damage to do it on spawn when it comes up to 20. And Chemtech Drake, nobody really interested in that. So,
well, Tony Orez has a question for you.
Yeah?
Was Poby right?
About what?
Was he right? That's the question.
I need further context to answer the question.
Okay.
I don't think it's a very good question.
We'll see. Was Poby right? We'll never know. Safaris going to upgrade that W. Here is the Vi over the wall, thinking about an engage. And yeah, I mean, keep that Renekton in the top lane. Dahl, you have TP, okay? There's no objective. Go sit in the top lane. Stop wandering down in the mid lane, being like, oh, are we going to play the game at hand?
He's been a top laner for a while and he still hasn't figured it out yet. And he's just kind of like, oh wait, it's just you hit the turret. I'm like, yeah, that's what you do. He's like, all right. He pinged it now. He's like, I'm hitting it. He's like, I'm doing it. He is doing it. And Rooster is not going to be able to do anything to this LeBlanc, so significant turret damage bot. Dog gets top turret. Where's the macro at, Homolife? You know, falling apart a little bit here. The mid lane turret also fairly low.
What did Troy Pika mean like by that? Is he blaming the Challengers player because the mid laner of the LCK team got injured?
I have no idea what he's even saying.
He's struggling, man. Chat this entire day has been just a big struggle fest. As meanwhile, just gonna get Blade collared in the face.
I mean, he's
not even to the knee. That was just straight in his face.
How about that flash from Force? I guess scared that Loki was gonna flash Tibbers him. Better safe than sorry, but I mean, Lure just like went into melee range of that turret. That was
yeah,
that was not ideal.
Okay, we got another fight down here on the bot side. Nice, in a bit of trouble, has to flash away. Does he get distortion again? No, he does not. Not before the leap comes up, but maybe they can turn on this Baron. Nope, not quite. A little bit early in this one.
I mean, 4 deaths on this LeBlanc now. Nice. He's been doing side laning very well, but, you know, getting a bit stumped in some of these exchanges, and he's given over a significant amount of gold. I don't know if we can actually start Baron now, Hanwha Life, but 2-item Kaisa, clearing some vision. Forest is looking for a potential opportunity here. No vision to be had on the other side of the pit because of Umbroglaive, so Hanwha Life are kind of like, Kha'Zix could steal. I don't like it. I'll walk away. Glad to see that, excuse me, glad to see the chatter left. I don't know if that went on mic or not because I tried to pull away, but
the chatter left? Yeah, no, he got forcefully...
He disappeared, is what I meant to say.
He got forcefully kicked out of the chat. Yeah, he's gone. Don't worry.
He's gone.
Didn't take very long. But it's okay.
Miraculously vanished.
He got left. He got exited, okay?
But he's not over with Poby on right. He's on left.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Got deported.
From the chat, yeah.
I guess so.
Could be. Well, if this time, as a team grouping up, they do take the turret. Really working up to their second Chemtech Drake of the game. A huge... Wait, no, it's not. No, it's not. And Nice is getting a lot of value here. I mean, he died again.
May be a...
You know what I was saying before, guys? It's actually right. As, okay, Forest in a lot of trouble. He's not right. He's trying to help out Nice when, in fact, he should be letting Nice do his thing. And...
Nice hold up.
Yeah. Nice should be in the side lane pushing as hard as he is, especially because he's died 4 times without Forest getting clawed by
Yeah, I mean, you don't need a Shadow of LeBlanc, generally.
No.
Actually, that's like one of the only champs that doesn't need help. Is Hanwha Life just going to turn this into a Baron take? Dog coming over.
Nice is over here. He's honestly doing a lot of poke damage. He's doing a good job. The turn here is good with the Featherstorm in position as Smash trying to carry this 1v4 essentially, but Lord does get in on top of that AD carry and takes him out. So Hanwha Life Esports will win in the turn.
I don't know if they can actually finish this, though.
Yeah.
Okay, no flash on Dahl, but, I mean, the Baron reset. Forest is coming over. I don't think you can do that. So, will be a win in the team fight, but a loss of the Baron. So, the tempo advantage that they had before is now gone. The Ice is kind of having a pretty legit game, to be honest, Valdez. I mean, he's 0-4, but
this is the best 0-4 game I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's pushing turrets. Like, it could be a, was it damage to turret or delta to turret? Delta to tower? Delta to tower situation.
Something like that, yeah. I hope so.
Okay, checking it. We're going for the steal. Are we sacrificing our life for Chemtech? I guess.
Well, T1
or not,
because they know they know exactly where their bread is buttered, and it's not on that Chemtech Drake. That's for sure.
Is it? Where is it buttered though?
Generally on the more toasted side.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. Maybe to cover up some of the burn bits. Could be.
Is Texas toast buttered in Texas? What is Texas toast, anyways? Like, let's actually define. What is
Nice's
Texas
former
toast?
IGN is Breadman. So we had T1 Soup, and we have Breadman.
We should have stuck with it. He and Thumb, man, could have been great teammates.
Breadman and Thumb.
Valve goes in. Loki is completely zoned out of this fight, but this is the power of Kaisa. You know? And once the LeBlanc is pushed away, there's just no way you can actually front to back anymore. Yeah, nobody knows the answer to Texas toast, huh? I guess chat just doesn't know.
Thickly cut bread with garlic, that people eat with spaghetti?
Yeah, they do. Okay, so there we go. Thanks, chat. Chat did know. They were just a little bit slow to let me know.
I think if T1 can catch Kai'Sa once, it's GG. I mean, it feels like a lot of their consistent damage outside of the Jax. But I don't know. I think that Humble Life Esports they're still in a spot to win team fights. I do think that T1 have the tools to play like a really guerrilla warfare type of game. As really nice turn here from Rooster onto Forest, and he will be able to get away with a flash. So that is flash forcefully taken away by T1.
Yeah, that was almost a rough situation there for Forrest, though. Thought for a second perhaps maybe he was going to have to flash, but he's got his little leap away, and so it looked like action, and it was action, I guess, but not leading to really anything here. There's a bit of a lull state at the moment, with the Sorelda is now picked up for Forrest, which is actually a huge spike if you are ahead enough on the Kazakhs to pick that up, because it can help set up some of those picks to really slow down the opposition. Great if you catch a target in a side lane. And eventually, we will see one of these teams group up for Baron. It's going to take a little bit longer. Forrest has his flash back up, you know. And so he's in a position to steal if Hanwha do try it. So being very aware of this.
Honestly, they're aware.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah. It's a very even game 3. It does feel like our challengers teams, once they get to game 3, they're like, okay, now it's real business. Now it's real OPH business in this one. We got to make sure not to make any mistakes. I still like that Nice. Again, he knows where his bread is buttered. He goes to the side lane, he's pushing it. He's not trying to just randomly team fight.
That's what Shiv LeBlanc does now. She has to push. He's not doing a ton of damage in fights, not being super impactful there. His T1 just haven't really been able to 5v5. Like, that's just the issue, is like, if you 5v5 and win it as T1, that's how you know you have a massive lead, right? I mean, it's a 1,000 gold lead right now, but they're getting picks with the Kazakhs and skirmishes. The side laning has been pretty good. Even though they're up against the Jax, they're just kind of out macroing Hanwha Life here, and the Jax side issue is not really an issue.
Yeah, Rooster doesn't have flash here, so gonna try to hop over the wall, but there is a teleport in from Nice, and now we get a teleport from Loki. And they're just gonna back away. They're like, well, we traded teleports. I guess now we'll just, I mean, I feel like that's better for Hanwha Life Esports, though. You'd like to keep that teleport on Nice.
I think the idea was really good for T1 there, but like ultimately at the end of the day, this Jax is not a problem in this game because they're shutting him down, and even though they didn't kill him, I do think that's important. He's actually close to getting his Zonias. So saving that turret, yeah, you'd like to get the kill, but saving the turret is pretty good. Obviously in terms of the teleport trade, hugely favoring Hanwha Life in terms of utility there, but I actually like the play, I like the call from T1. If that turret goes down, you know, Jax can start pushing your inner, which is worth more money, of course. I don't know how close he is to his Zonias, but the fact that he has a Codex online means that probably coming up pretty soon.
Zonia's not a very expensive item. Nice doesn't want to teleport for team fights. He wants to push side lanes only, sure. But at the same time, you want to have that option. You're always going to be in the side lanes. Yeah. Nice amount of poke does come in. And the depth charge kind of weird. Loki does flash on in as Val will take the brunt of that damage, and they get into the Saya as he's just dead. And Nice is like, I forget side lane pushing, I just want to get in here with my teammates to fight. As Dahl is doing an incredible amount here on the Renekton, but it's a little bit too late. So a big team fight here in favor of Hanwha Life Esports.
Baron!
I'm not very surprised.
No, not really. It's hard to team fight this one, unfortunately, as T1. And the people back in the chat was kind of saying like, yeah, he doesn't want to TP into team fights, but you will eventually have to do a team fight. And because he did not have TP, he just kind of came with that one a little bit slower there, made very little impact. Unfortunately for him, takes his 5th death of the game. Baron goes over. Chemtech's sole point. Looks like it's going to go to T1 here, but I don't think Hanwha can care a little bit. And they're just going to go for this turret instead. Rooster will finally pick this up. Maybe he could actually even push for the inner. With no vision here. Think better of it. Yeah. I think with Dahl and Ice down, I think you definitely could push for that, especially if you absolutely crush this Kha'Zix. This is a pretty tricky move from Forest because, you know, at the end of the day, like, Jax is pushing, you're one of the only answers with those solo laners down. I'm a bit surprised neither team really sussed out what was going on there. And then nice series with the team, didn't have teleport, kind of grouped for this, but Nautilus ult doing nothing. And then how do you front to back here? Featherstorm needs to be big, right? You need to actually have a really nice blade fall. They don't. He dies very fast. And Forest, the bug waiting to be squashed in this case. Pretty straightforward fight, or lack thereof, honestly.
Yeah, not much of a fight. Don't really have a mid laner, don't really have a 80 carry if he just dies immediately. If this Kha'Zix replaced by Nocturne, will the game be different? Not really the way it's going this time. Probably a very similar situation.
I kind of disagree in that at least the Nocturne can help chase down the Jax and kill him, because they kept him at bay for a while. Now he's got a bunch of money from team fights, but if they have a Nocturne, they can really punish him if he's inside, so maybe they can actually turn that. Remember last time they committed teleport, maybe they actually end up getting a kill with the, you know, Nocturne ult coming through the paranoia. But there are obviously other problems with the Nocturne. He can't build Umbroglaive, he can't give you that vision control, so
I'm kind of just like, I'm not sure if any different picks would matter.
I mean, they would lead
Does
to a
the
different
draft
outcome.
really matter in challengers? I don't know. I feel like I'm still doing research on this. You know what I mean?
I mean, if we're only looking at WL, then it's hard to predict what's going to happen.
WL.
Yeah, win-loss. If you're looking at how the game is going to change, of course, it will change a lot, right? You know.
True, yeah.
I mean, the LeBlanc in this game has made a pretty huge impact, but she hasn't been able to make an impact in team fights. Could have been Azir. You know, this game looks totally different. But, you know, they can actually team fight 5v5, but not with the LeBlanc.
So Lure has a death cap. Definitely a really good pickup. Probably could have even gone for Ludens, but doesn't have to. Obviously, the Goons is going to do a lot when he does hop in. And now, fourth item, death cap means that people will not have health bars, especially Nice, Smash, and Forest, but just anyone, pretty much. And they have a pretty easy fight from here on out. Just chill out, throw in W's, control for the objectives. Now, they don't really have the Elder Drake angle yet because, you know, we're still a couple of Drakes away from that, so just waiting on that. As in goes Lure, a huge amount of burst, but he does use the Killer Instinct already.
Yep. Dahl getting pushed away by that big damage from the death cap. Flash is traded.
I think it was Hex Flash from Bout. He flashed in the last one.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Just looked weird there for a second. So a trade of a non-real flash for a real flash. Feels nice from T1, but it's Kai'Sa flash, you know? She's not really a front-to-back 80 carry. Isn't really going to be the one who's under threat. She is the danger.
Yeah.
I don't flash from you, you flash from me.
You flash from me. I make you flash my W. Yeah, I like how they just immediately backed up. Probably Lure's like, oh, I'm really weak right now. I don't have flash. I don't have Killer Instinct. He has it now. Yeah, just gonna back away. And at the end of the day, this game will continue. I mean, we are probably in for at least a 40-minuter, and that's not very common in challengers. I think that we're at a position now where this could be anybody's game. Who do you think is going to win this one?
I am going to lean
the challengers game.
I'm leaning towards Hanwha. I think their draft is easier to play out. They have a Jax. They have great engage. They can't front to back, but T1 haven't proved that they can either. And their comp is kind of halfway to front to back, right? With the somewhat tanky Renekton as a GA now and Sterix, and they have like the LeBlanc that could chip away, you know, and then eventually Smash wins the fight. But the Vi, the Annie, the Jax engage is so easy, and the Lure's follow-up is so easy. Plus, they have the ability to just poke with Void Seeker and maybe just kill Kha'Zix. Yeah,
they squashed that bug real quick. And then another one spawned right next to him. It's reincarnation, Wolf.
It's actually so silly how bad Kha'Zix is into Kai'Sa. Like, he is the one who's supposed to assassinate the backline. But if Kai'Sa finds him and can ult him, he dies. Like every time, no matter what. She is the danger. She's not scared of bugs.
Yeah. Nice is going to back off here. He did get that inner turret. I thought maybe he could continue to put on pressure. I don't think you're really scared of getting chased down by even a Jax, but just going to play it safe and Chemtech Drake. So he gets the ward, and then the W hits, and that's really the biggest issue.
He's like, I can ult him now. Supercharges forward, ults, presses Q. Cool Kaisas don't look at explosions.
Yeah. He is nothing but damage. He provides nothing for his team and actively has to be alone to do damage. He also just disintegrates when anybody breathes on him.
I don't know if that's what I'd call what Kai'Sa did, but yeah.
It kind of looks like that, you know?
It looks like that, but it's also a 4-item Kai'Sa, you know, on a squishy bug. She's level 18.
W is very clean, yeah, the second one. We do have a dead Bounce. He was just hanging out in the jungle, you know, thought he was safe, and then he died. So that should be Baron here. Let's see how this one is going to go. Forest waiting.
It is kind of funny how long it took them to start this one up after that pick earlier, but wanted to have all their ducks in a row. I mean, LeBlanc is not here. It's just an attempted steal. It's not a contest.
Good job from Homolite. He's just going to turn onto this guy so that there is no hope of a steal.
I mean, Nice is pushing an inhibitor turret, but they have empowered recalls, and we'll get here before he can threaten anything for real. And
he might actually die. Oh, nice little angle.
Yeah, they didn't expect him to go between two turrets, but he will.
Where's Faker?
All this.
Well, he is.
You don't have to read those, you know.
LCK.
You can just avoid them.
This is Challenger League.
I know, but you don't have to read them out loud. Like, you can read the chat, but don't give them power, you know? Don't let them control you with all this.
The chat has power.
That smiley face has 3 chins in YouTube chat. What does it mean?
It means he's really happy.
Well, Baron is going to be big. This is a Jax that has a 4-item setup. GA on the way. Don't really know what to say about...
I was about to hit her Void Staff.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about the chances here for T1 anymore.
You really needed to push that Blanc angle farther, I think.
It's just, unfortunately, not a strong pick, in my opinion. They used it great in sides, but you drafted Xayah, so can't team fight. Don't have power for your Xayah. Renekton's falling off. What are you going to do? Look at that damage. Bye-bye, half your health bar.
We have a Croc behind enemy lines, and now a lot of low health bars here on the side of Homolite Esports, and maybe Bout goes down, but who cares? As the flank is huge, Vars is getting in there. He's not doing much, and honestly, Dahl also not doing much. Trying his best. The angle was cool, but it wasn't good enough. Flash on in after the GA. Nice try, but Lure is better than that.
Indeed. Nice try. I feel like that's how you could describe this LeBlanc. And the player who is piloting her. Nice try. It was a nice try. Execution inside is pretty decent. But T1 trying to out-finesse Homolite Esports. They have the more well-rounded composition. And even with these crazy flank attempts, they're just not able to do it. As it takes so long for the Renekton to get here. And so much damage is done. Bout is out of the fight. Smash is so low. There's no follow-up here. The Renekton is just going to be essentially avoided. Look at the shield on Lure. He just doesn't actually care. He's full build.
Not about the Croc.
No.
He cares about hitting those Ws.
So the game is still happening somehow.
The game hasn't ended.
What is
happening?
It is pretty weird that the Nexus is still standing. Every time we come out of a replay, I feel like I'm going to get player shots. You know, I'm like, oh, it's, you know, let's take a look at the gold graph and the damage charts, and then next thing you know, we're just crossing our T's and dotting our I's still, and wait, it says get Chemtech Soul.
Man, I got like my 7th ban today. Whenever T1 plays it, it's just, oh man, it's just great. So much action in the chat. So many angry bettors. It's just a great time.
My identity is tied to a team, and I will stake my life on them and then be upset when they fail me. That's my better impression.
Yeah. And when they bet like
while like
$50
walking in
on it,
place.
they're angry. All right, Life really want this Chemtech soul. And you know what? Wolf, they'll get it. It's theirs.
It's theirs. It belongs to them. 4. So the tenacity, the shielding power, like Lure shield on that ult, we can now explain it. Like I was like, that was pretty big. Like, does it really get that big at 16? I mean, with these Chemtech Drakes, I guess the answer is yes. Like, is that a full AP build Shen shield? Nope, just Kai'Sa R. That's a little bit big. That's a little, that might be a bit of a problem.
Yeah. T1 comeback is real.
T1 comeback is real. Like, yep.
Omega Copium. Copium truck. Have you seen that emote?
No.
It's where it's a guy sitting next to a truck full of copium. Oh man.
I haven't seen it yet.
Very apt. They are going to find Guwon in the jungle, but there's a Kai'Sa on the team. Remember when Kai'Sa was left available for first pick on blue side? I remember, Wolf.
Yeah. Remember when they banned Sejuani instead of banning Kai'Sa?
Yeah, Dapwell, that's part of it. That's certainly part of it. Guwon's still getting in there. And at this point, you know, he's pretty happy to do so. He's got GA. Nice little ult there onto Smash. There is the bear. Smash is like, do I press my R button now? I guess maybe he should have. Down he goes to his GA as everybody's just moving. And that's going to be the end of this one, guys. Life Esports finally do get in there, and it looks like they will finally knock down that Nexus.
They will, and it took a long time, but the better team fighting here, stronger composition. Life took them 3 games. Game 2, a little bit rocky, but ultimately it will be 2 one-sided games that push them over the edge. 3rd game, you know, it looked close for a moment, but ultimately no team fights. Yeah, and we do have to vote. I'm feeling like, is it just the Kai'Sa angle?
You know, it might be.
I think it is, weirdly enough.
I don't think it's like a mid or support vote.
It's like bot or top, I think.
I'm gonna go for bot. Yeah, you said bot. I'm gonna say ADC. That way we cover the spectrum.
Don't confuse
bottom
them.
Damage dealers. Kai'Sa angle. Yeah, this is Series 1. It's 2-game Tuesday, which means we'll get 6 games. And we will just basically play it out throughout the entire day. We are going to get 15 games. As 41,000 damage in a 41-minute game. Honestly, it's kind of low.
Yeah, it's a little bit low,
for
but
Kai'Sa.
There wasn't a whole lot of fighting, and oftentimes, I mean, it's also not really a tanky comp. Like, there's not enough health bars to do the big damage. Like,
yeah.
She's like, I killed the Kazakhs. That's about like 200 more damage to my chart. 100 to 0 the Kazakhs. That's about 250 HP, right?
The LeBlanc did go Shiv. LeBlanc pick won them the game. I think we definitely do not value the LeBlanc pick very much.
We don't.
It feels like the pro teams are still holding on to it. It's absolutely nowhere near as powerful as Kai'Sa. We can say that much. Is there power in what the LeBlanc does? Sure. But I think that it's incredibly difficult, especially for this level of play. I don't think you should even touch it, to be honest. Just play Annie every single game. Like if it were me in the mid lane, it's not. But if I were coaching one of these teams, I'd say, you're playing Annie, you're playing Azir, maybe.
Yeah, Azir's
about
the
it
pick for me.
You know?
Like, you know, even with the Kazakhs pick, I probably wouldn't play with Azir. But if you're trying to front to back, just play Azir. Like, pretty straightforward, you know? Like, we've already solved it. We already figured it out. Lure will pick up POG with 40% of his team's damage share and almost twice the value in damage to his gold. Not a big shocker. Low DPM because of what we were talking about before, but
whoa. I mean, it is.
It's low. It's low for a 40-minute Kai'Sa game, but
it is.
Doesn't matter. The game was about him. The game was about the fact that he could just blow up the Kazakhs and they could take objectives. That just kept happening. Yep. Kai'Sa's an 80 carry and an assassin and a poke champion, all in one. Not a tank yet.
The full package.
Riot might add that later.
Say.
Yeah.
Imagine if we had Corki Kai'Sa. Everybody's so obsessed with like Tristana Kai'Sa. If you get both of those two picks, you should not be playing. You should not lose. Actually, is what I mean to say. Like Tristana and Kai'Sa together should not be allowed in the draft. If you get Kai'Sa and they take Tristana, just play Corki.
There's a lot of things you can do, but
imagine Corki and Kai'Sa, and that way it's safer than Jace. It does more damage than Jace. It can join fights with package, kind of like the Kai'Sa does. I like the angle. I think that's the way. That's the future.
It's got to start with the draft. That's what we often say. I think this series was, frankly, even in Game 2, T1's draft was the win conditions were very narrow. It was a very risky draft, and if they hadn't gotten as ahead as they did, and Hanwha hadn't actually really just run into those early fights and just given massive gold over, I don't think it wins, right? It was fairly weak drafting from T1 throughout the series, and it brought us to 3 because they did get that lead and they knew how to play their comp, but I just want to see a little bit more safety, you know, a little bit more well-rounded, good old classic, evergreen League of Legends.
I was like, I don't know, just feel like putting my arm through the wall, seeing what happens. Here, buy my Corkis. You can fit so many damages in them. I am the Corki shell, actually. I played a lot of Corki in mid back when it was really, really OP. Nowadays, I think it's fine. I think it's on a good level. But everybody's like, this is the meta. It probably does feel pretty rough into Tristana and Annie lanes, I would guess. But you can go Hex Tech or Hex Drinker first into at least Annie and just kind of hang out, you know, not die, and then scale up. And if you hit a mid game to late game on even footing with like Corki Kai'Sa, you will win almost every single game that you play.
My problem with Corki is the same problem I have with LeBlanc, but in a different way. Corki at least has the ability to do big poke damage, whereas the Shiv is small damage, so Corki can obviously burst targets down, and he also has CC because he can ult in, but it's relatively low impact CC, and only when you have package, right, was when you're really going to make that happen. So I don't like Corki as much because he doesn't offer any utility. It's all about utility. You do damage, you do CC,
but it's like Tristana.
You're a top mid.
Tristana, I mean, she has her ult, right? But that's like somewhat comparable to a package, I guess.
Tristana, though, also somewhat reliant on getting a pretty early advantage. Otherwise, isn't really making that much impact. Even though she can scale, like we're not seeing it. So the
scaling is important, you know. But the double 80 carry metas aren't really going too well. Comps, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of like we've learned that while Tristana is very good and is really good at getting early prio, it's not necessarily a freebie. The Kai'Sa does feel like as long as you have some pressure on the map, like it's kind of a freebie if you can survive and get to the late game and get those items. Which with Shiv, you get gold so quickly in sides. You can get gold in 2 lanes oftentimes. We even sometimes see Kai'Sa's like go down bot, grab a wave, then go mid when you have the Shiv because you're like, yeah, just as long as I get my items, we win. And Kai'Sa feels so much more oppressive poke-wise than the rest of the comp because you don't lose anything.
All right. Well, somebody needs a timeout. Man, chat's really struggling today. I don't know. This is just not the day.
Yeah, I think it's like the day I want to turn chat off, man.
Yesterday, I was in chat. It was a really fun time. We had 9 games. It was crazy. I think everybody's just kind of hung over from yesterday.
Yeah, maybe.
You know? Whenever we get 9 games the next day. I remember 2 weeks ago we had the 15 game week of challengers, and Tuesday was like a struggle, whereas Monday was great. It was a long day.
Yeah, it was.
I understand.
But, you know, keep it together, chat. Come on. So, what did you do yesterday? You know, you have any fun activities yesterday during the Monday 9 gamer?
I went out and I got some food and did some errands, drank some coffee. There's this new cafe we found yesterday, or not yesterday, but a couple weeks ago, and we went to it yesterday. That was good. And then I went home and I played Diablo 4 and I watched Challengers a little bit. Then I went to sleep at like 11, really early on.
Cool.
Just kind of hung out.
I went shopping, got some new clothes, played some video games. No, it's pretty straightforward day for me. It was a long shopping type of scenario, so I didn't go to the gym yesterday, sadly. The AC unit is having a struggle.
So
It's okay. He recovered.
it sounded like someone was drilling into our little room we have here.
You mean our dungeon in the Castor Castle?
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. This is definitely just.
You know, like in the
I tried to go up the wall there and follow the lines that go up, but I couldn't.
minor Full
didn't
Metal
take me with
Alchemist
them.
spoilers, but like you know the underground place where Father is, like where all the energy is getting like pulled down. Like that's actually like what is happening here, except we're pulling it all up to Faker, where he has ascended. That's what we do in this dungeon. We like send the
Wolf
energy
Atlas, would you like to propose to Uncle Freak to return Jungle Camille? Where do we start with this one?
up. No, I actually kind of like how Camille is right now.
Yeah. Also, I'm not Atlas. I'm Achilleos. Please get it right.
Chat is struggling.
It's just a struggle, man. It's just really rough times today. No, it's okay, Ambriage.
Embryo, you're like a veteran chatter.
It's it's a little bit of a struggle. He knows like
You're a veteran
everybody's
chatter.
a little hungover from yesterday, right?
I would say
We had
Embryo
some
is
some rough times.
probably has top 3 messages sent in the channel.
Have you ever seen Echo and Pro? Yes, in fact, Faker has played it.
It's pretty rare.
But yeah,
We saw it in
I am
Canyon
playing
played
Druid
it in
because
2021 as well.
Sorcerer is no longer a class for now, but Sorcerer will be my first alt. But for now, Druid, because it's not nerfed into the Omega ground, unlike some other classes.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen Kai'Sa in Pro? No, that will never happen. That champion is really bad.
2018 when Faker played it. Yeah, maybe. 2021 Canyon played it. I think we might have seen it like twice that year. The Echo. Pretty
What's going
rare.
to be the big champ of 2024? Any wild guesses, Wolf? You are the prophet. Crystal Ball.
Aatrox.
Aatrox?
I feel like Aatrox.
Going
is
back to
coming- I feel like
Aatrox?
Aatrox is coming back. They like, gave him a bunch of buffs. He's going to be really strong, and then
Isn't that just...
it's going to take Riot a long
13,
time to figure
14?
it out. Yeah, no, but like I
I was
think
talking
we're-
about 2024.
I know. Hear me out. Because I
Okay.
think Riot's, they gave him a bunch of buffs. He's going to be really strong and oppressive, but it's really cool, fun champion to watch, whatever. And they're going to, like, nerf him eventually by the time it hits, like, summer season. Like, maybe, like, after, like, week 3 of summer, 2024, Aatrox will get nerfed. That's my, like, really specific prediction.
Okay. Skarner?
Victor is definitely going to be
Zach,
back.
Amumu, Skarner, Camille, Victor, Galio, Swain. Those are the names I saw. I could see Skarner. Skarner rework.
I mean, he's kind of
Zeri
back at the
Troll
moment.
Despair. Zeri aware. Oh god.
Skarner remake, yeah, that's a good call, but Skarner's he's kind of relevant right now, actually, already. He's being played a lot. So Shyvana has not really been relevant since I joined. There was like a time where she was in solo
She
queue
needs a
before
rework.
LCK. But I hope Shyvana comes back because it's another champion on my list of champs I never got to commentate, like Elise, which I got this year, obviously, but ready for Shyvana.
Were you
Oh no,
casting
Shyvana
the
top.
Diana game
Shyvana
with
top did
me?
happen.
That was you and I, right? The Diana Canyon.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was not. It was not great. No, actually, I wasn't casting with you, but I was on the desk.
Oh, you were desking,
I was
okay.
desking, but yeah, that was not.
We're forgetting Lysandra. Yeah. Well.
Lysandra's coming back like.
Yeah,
next
13,
patch.
14 is going to be a lot of the champions that we mentioned. The Aatrox, the Diana maybe, the Lysandra. Yeah.
When you do what Riot did to Aatrox and you like change him that significantly and he becomes so part of like just natural top progression, he becomes kind of like an Azir type where it's just like, oh well, he's just going to be there for a while now, and Riot like might tweak the numbers a little bit, but the buff is like so huge that
Yeah.
I think even if he gets nerfed back to like almost what he is now, all players will be like reliant on him, and he's just going to be played no matter what all the time. Like that's what I think is happening, because it's happened with Aatrox before, just like Renekton. Like, was Renekton's buff that he got to put him back in the meta like that huge at all? No, actually not even really that much.
Yeah. I mean,
And now, and even if they put him exactly back to the way he was, I guarantee he's played, for the rest of the season. Just 'cause he's one of those types of champions. Everybody knows how to play him. Already plays him a lot. Very strong. Comfort pick for a lot of people.
Aatrox versus Renekton.
Yeah, that's going to be a thing.
Corki and Rise always good come around world times. Come good around world's time.
I'm glad that Rise has been gone for a while. Pretty boring champion.
Didn't he get buffed? And then everybody's like, ooh, we might see Rise, and then we never did.
I think he's in a similar place with Victor.
Rek'Sai.
Why is no one playing Victor right now? Because he doesn't give you utility, only damage. Only damage champs in mid. That's the thing of the past. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah, well, yeah. You need something that does both. You can't... I don't feel like Galio's that good now, either. Because he's, like, only utility and only CC. Like, he doesn't do enough damage. You need, like, Azir, right? Azir, Annie. Okay, and guys, we are done here. Stop, comment, take a break. We'll be right back.
빨간 팀의 포탑이 파괴되었습니다.